Let's play two over the course of the next two games. The Charlottesville Tom Sox and Harrisonburg Turks will clash twice here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park, with the first of the two clashes taking place tonight. 7:30 first pitch. We're just a little bit behind here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park. It's Dylan Price and Mike Bolger with all the action here on Tom Sox TV. Thanks for making us a part of your Monday evening. Gorgeous night for baseball. I'll double down on that because there's not a cloud in the sky. It's blue skies, sunshine, not even too hot. The perfect day to take in a baseball game. Since you're not at the park, if you're listening to this, well, thanks for letting us paint that picture for you on this audio-only stream on Tom Sox TV. Mike, it's the second half of the season. We resume action after All-Star Weekend, and we are just about set to get underway. It will be Jason Chaifetz on the bump for the Turks. Leading off, it's Johnny Lopez. Take you through the whole lineup and set the defense for you in just a moment. But since we're running behind schedule, 7:32 p.m. is time of first pitch. First pitch to Lopez is a called strike one, and we are underway.
Yeah, Dylan, back after the All-Star break. Players get some rest up as we hit the back half of the season. And it's a hot Tom Sox team. They got to look to continue to go that way.
Lopez skied into right field, dropping back, taking a step or two, and then corralling it in is Anthony Pascal. With that being the first out, let's set the defense for you. It's Jake Canizero at first base, Harris at second, a late addition to this staff. It's Jalen Evans at shortstop this evening, Brett Waringer at third, Delgado doing the catching, Pascal the aforementioned in right field, Nelson in center, Chris Katz in left, Chaifetz doing the pitching, and Hatcher is the designated hitter this evening. Digging in, it's Ethan Gibson. Top of the lineup, all three of them at the All-Star game last night. First pitch to Gibson. The off-speed pitch doesn't break over the heart of the plate, so the count will go to 1-0. The lineup for the Sox, we'll take you through it when we have a second to do so, but it's Lopez, Gibson, and Levy for the first three this evening. Second pitch to Gibson outside for ball two. So quickly, the Virginia Tech Hokie, Ethan Gibson ahead in the AB.
Yeah, when these two teams, Dylan, we'll be talking about all broadcast long, when these two teams clash, it is something to watch. It is a fierce battle. The fans get into it in a summer league that you don't see that too often, but, man, it's a heated rivalry here in the VBL South.
Count now 3-0 on Gibson. Get me over fastball. Connects, and the count will go to 3-1 on this beautiful Monday evening campus of James Madison University. The 3-1, Gibson skies it back onto that campus as he'll work the count full. Gibson playing up until the fifth inning last night, flying out and grounding out in the All-Star game. Gibson readies. Chaifetz, the payoff pitch. Just outside for ball four, so Gibson works a 6-pitch walk. He will walk over to first, and now Robbie Levy will step to the dish with a runner on and no outs here, one out here, in the top of the first. Levy homered on Friday night to seal the deal and get a huge walk-off victory for the Sox. 3-2 the final in that one, a 2-run shot calling game. Levy skies this down the third base side. Waringer giving chase, falling a little bit, but still reeling it in for out number two. One pitch, one out to Robbie Levy, and now that'll bring up the cleanup hitter in Colby Wallace.
Yeah, and what a moment that was for not only Robbie Levy, but this entire Tom Sox team. You went 9 innings, only scoring 1 run, tied your season low against Harrisonburg a couple weeks ago, and then you finally get that walk-off win after struggling all day long. So it's definitely great for the team to get it, head into the All-Star break too.
First pitch to Wallace, outside, ball one. Working with the runner on, and Gibson still, but 2 outs in the on-deck circle. It's Caden Ferraro who will make his debut with the Sox. See if his at-bat will come in this top of the first or later on. Wallace, second pitch to him, low for ball 2. Count out 2-0 with 2 outs and the runner on. Gibson, always a threat on the base pass. Not a huge lead right now with 2 outs, playing a little bit close to the vest. Wallace readies for the 2-0 high, ball 3, and now Wallace ahead here. Got to imagine he's going to be taking and try to force Chaifetz to throw it over the heart of the plate. Gibson lead still tight over there to Canizaro. The 3-0, Wallace fouls it back, and count will go to 3-1.
got the green light on the 3-0 count. Again, you're not going to see that too often in the majors or in college regular season. But here in summer ball, once when you see a good pitch, you've got the green light to go.
Back-to-back outings from Chaifetz with wins, as that's a called strike 2. The count will go fall. And 3 straight outings of 5 or more frames tossed. 3 straight outings of 4 or more strikeouts. Chaifetz has solidified himself as a frontline starter. Gibson running. Wallace just hits this through the shift into right field, and he is going to get through for a base hit. Gibson going to go all the way from first to third, and runners will be on the corners here with Wallace. A little bit of slap hitting from the cleanup hitter. Don't see that too often. Now he is going to head to first base, and Caden Ferraro will work with 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the first.
Well, first of all, as you said perfectly, slap hit right past the second baseman. Harris just kind of got a bad jump on it off the start. Now Ferraro coming up to the plate. A lefty, he can do both pitching and batting. So after Thomas Rodon's season is done, they get another guy here that can really be another player to this great arsenal of both the bullpen and the lineup.
Ball lost by Delgado allows Wallace to advance to second. Now both runners in scoring position here with 2 outs in the top of the first. Sox trying to strike first as Wallace stands at second. Gibson third for our first at bat with the Sox. 1-0 count, 2 outs. Number 5 hitter tonight takes a called strike 1, count even at 1 apiece. He comes by way, there it is, of Pearland, Texas. The freshman just wrapping up his first year. Utility player, pitcher, bat over 384 with a really strong line as a starter as well, as the second offering for a strike lands. It's now a 1-2 count, 2 outs.
Well, another versatile lefty, too, Dylan, to this lineup that seems to have a lot of it back and forth, lefty-lefty, righty-righty. Just seems like every time he faces Tom Sox team, you don't know what you're going to get from him.
The 1-2 to him. Just misses inside for ball 2. Count 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on here in the top of the first. 384 average, 18 homers, and 82 ribbies. Say that's a pretty stout line from the junior college national champions, as the next offer to Ferraro inside. The count will go full with 2 outs and 2 on. Big payoff pitch incoming with the dangerous Jake Books in the on-deck circle. A 6.46 ERA, the tune of he pitched on the bump in 5 games started, 8 appearances. So a dangerous threat on both the bump and in the dish. Called strike 3. Chaifetz works out of a jam and retires the side with 2 on. And we will head to the bottom of the first. Sox threaten but don't plate any. They will tee it up to Thomas Whalen as we kick things off in the bottom of the first. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. The righty from Davidson College will toe the rubber for the Sox. He is a 1.68 ERA on the season with 4 games appeared in, this being the 5th, and this is his second start. 10 2/3 innings pitched with 11 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 6 hits. His last time out about a week ago against the Bravos, he tossed 4 innings of 1-run baseball with 3 hits and 3 strikeouts. It's Thomas Whalen, the rising sophomore, has pieced together a really strong VBL campaign, Mike, and he will go up against the Turks lineup that looks like this. Jalen Evans leads off. Cameron Harris batting second, playing second. Chris Katz batting third in left field. Luke Hatcher, the DH, bats fourth. Jake Canizero, the first baseman, bats fifth. Cam Nelson in center field bats sixth. Matthew Delgado doing the catching bats seventh. Anthony Pascal in right field bats eighth. And Brett Waringer rounds out the lineup at third base batting ninth. Jalen Evans, a late addition to this lineup. It was supposed to be Jose Perez at shortstop. Evans, a guy we have seen quite a bit in Tom Sox and Turks action. And, well, Jalen Evans always speedy, always a threat. And Thomas Whalen going to have a handful early on as the first pitch outside for ball 1. Evans on the campaign. A surprising 143 average. Seemingly, though, every time we see him, he is a threat to the Sox as the next offering outside for ball 2. Stolen 1 base on the season, but it feels like every time he's on the base pass, it's come against the Sox. Against the Sox, he's driven in a couple runs already on the season as he fouls that one back and scored as well. A speedy utility player from Coates, North Carolina. A handful from Thomas Whalen right off the bat. And that ball went right off the bat, foul into the netting behind home plate. It's a 2-1 count here in the bottom of the first. Sox threatened but didn't play to any in the top of it, so we're still scoreless. Next offering inside and high to Evans.
Yeah, and I mean, today, one of the biggest things coming out of the break is how can this infield recover from a bunch of errors that they had last week, right? That was the main thing. It's not always on just the pitcher. It's a lot on what this infield has done throughout this season with currently 43 errors.
Evans works a 5-pitch walk, and now we'll see the speedy Evans on the base pass. And now Cameron Harris, the second baseman, will dig in. And this is actually a little bit of similar territory for the Tom Sox of what happened the last time they took a trip to Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park. It was a first-inning offensive explosion that saw them vault out to a 10-1 victory on June 12th. Last time the Sox took the trip here to the campus of JMU, and a lot of that first-inning offense coming through in that victory. First offering to Harris, outside ball 1. Harris, a .313 hitter. He's got a homer and 8 runs driven in on the season. Mike, you and I were talking before the action kicked off this evening about how this is a Turks lineup that has not had a lot of turnover. You go through it, especially now with the addition of Jalen Evans, and it's pretty much rinse and repeat to what we saw the first time these two teams clashed, as this is just going to sneak through into left field for a base hit. So 2 batters faced for Thomas Whalen, 2 batters on the base pass for the Turks. It's a walk, it's a hit, and the Turks threatening here in the top of the first with no outs, and Chris Katz coming to the dish.
And Wallace on the third base sideline today for the Tom Sox, he was pinched in really far. He was basically covering and almost on the bag of third. So when that ball got by him, he had to back up about 2 feet before he could dive out and make the play. So that's why that ball kind of got past him on that. But yeah, now already in a sticky situation here. We saw Harrisonburg last time we were here get out to a huge early lead, and Tom Sox could not recover. See what they can do here.
Mentioned 10-1 the final in that one. Katz skied, staggering into just shallow left center field. Gibson's got it. He tracked back, and he will reel it in for out number 1. One of those balls that just hung up for quite a while on Chris Katz. It just kind of topped it, and Ethan Gibson will track back and reel it in, and the cleanup hitter Luke Hatcher digs in, and Luke Hatcher really making a case to be one of the best hitters in the Valley League. A .375 average for Hatcher, 20 runs driven in, 5 home runs, 6 walks on the campaign, 21 hits. His average, second best on the team. His home runs, just second in the VBL, just behind the first place batter in A.J. Wenrick. As that pitch inside to Hatcher for ball 1. A.J. Wenrick, last time he saw the Tom Sox launching a ball into left center, a home run, 3-run shot that vaulted him above Hatcher on the leaderboard. Hatcher also third in RBIs, and actually his .375 average, although second best on the team to Perez, because as that's a swinging strike here, count will go even at 1 apiece. Because Perez has not played in enough eligible games, Hatcher actually paces the VBL with that .375 mark. So Hatcher off to a scorching first half of the season. See what he does here in the second half of the season from West Georgia, University of West Georgia, that is. Hatcher digs in with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Turks threatening. Hatcher sharply hit into left field. Wynn will come forward and reel it in for out number 2. Looked like Wynn kind of taken aback at first, but just moved forward and able to make relative ease of that out. And now Jake Canizero digs in, and this is kind of the hardest part of the lineup for a Turks team that, although they're 12-8, has grossly outperformed that record, and the Tom Sox can attest to that. They've lost 2 games to them on the campaign. And Jake Canizero, Luke Hatcher, Chris Katz, that kind of center part of the order is the main reason why.
Yeah, it's been a big part. I mean, this Turks team struggled there for a minute. They lost 4 to 5 straight, but now they're finding their rhythm again out of the break, and this is what matters. You get rested up, you take on these top teams in the VBL and the Tom Sox. You've had their number for a while this season. You talk about the 12-8 win, then the 10-1 win. I mean, it's been pure dominance here, especially at your home. Now you get this game that was rescheduled, and you can keep it here at home against the Tom Sox. It's big, Dylan. It's big on the schedule.
A rabid bunch of kids running below us here.
Join the time
at the press box, making some noise. They're fired up for the Turks offense here, trying to pace it here. This softly hit to third. Wallace will take a step or few forward and then throw it over to Ferraro for out number 3. So after allowing the first 2 runners to reach base, Thomas Whalen works out of the rest of the frame without allowing a run. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the second inning, scoreless here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park. Stick and stay on Tom Sox TV. Scoreless, we go into the second inning here on Tom Sox TV. Dylan Price, Mike Bolcher, we welcome you back in from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the grounds of James Madison University. And, well, a guy who's very, very familiar to that, Jason Chaifetz, the junior from JMU, continues on the bump after a scoreless top of the first, allowing just a hit and no runs with a walk as well. First pitch to Jake Books, high and outside for ball 1. It's Books, Wynn, and Strickland due up in this frame. Books a .375 hitter for the Sox, in this being his 9th game played by way of Coastal Carolina. Whiffs on that. It's a 1-1 count. Books has made an immediate impact, driving in a run, has been kind of all over the order at the top, in the middle, the bottom part of it, but still hitting. .375 average with 3 doubles on the season. Books readies for the 1-1, high for ball 2. Looked like it just kind of lost off the fingertips of Chaifetz. So Chaifetz, the righty, 5'11", 198, a 2-0 record with a 4.05 ERA. As Books lashes this one into right center. Looked like he couldn't find it at first, did Pascal, but then he was able to track it just short of the warning track for out number 1. Chaifetz, 20 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, and a staggering strikeout to walk ratio. 1 walk on the campaign. Well, 2 now, because the ever dangerous Ethan Gibson doubled that total for him. We've seen how Gibson can work those counts, and, well, able to be just the second guy to walk on Chaifetz on the season as Ryan Wynn digs in and swings at the first pitch he sees. It's an 0-1 count with an out here as Ryan Wynn, 291 average now on the season with a homer and 8 ribbies. Second offering to him. Outside ball 1.
Yeah, Ryan Wynn's been definitely one of the big additions of this squad, and then he stayed more consistent than I think anybody else, both in the field and during the lineup.
Wynn fouls it back softly back behind the backstop. Cale Strickland, catcher in his own right, who's in the on-deck circle, will shag that and actually toss it over to his dad, former University of Georgia head coach Scott Strickland, assistant coach on the staff. Randy Tomlin, head coach for the Sox, is the fourth pitch to Wynn, outside for ball 2. Count now even at 2 apiece. Bob Weiss, the head coach, longtime head coach for the Turks in the other dugout. The 2-2 from Chaifetz to Wynn. Wynn, check swing, bounces off the glove of Delgado, and it was outside, so the count will go full. Cale Strickland, a guy that, Mike, you and I have talked about ad nauseum, has played in nearly every game for the Sox on the season. He's tied with Gibson for second most as Wynn skies this down the first base side and foul. He's tied with Ethan Gibson for the second most games played in. Johnny Lopez the first most with 21. He's played in every game but one on the season. And Cale Strickland has really found his groove in recent weeks, up to a 271 average. The 3-2 to Wynn. Softly fouled back just on the left side of home plate, and we will rinse and repeat and go again.
8th pitch of this early at-bat, I guess you can say. Early, maybe. Yeah, 8th pitch though, and of the early duel, and it's huge for this team to knock off the starting pitcher immediately if it can.
The 3-2 to Wynn, outside for ball 4, so Ryan Wynn will head over to first base, and now with 1 out, a runner will be on for Cale Strickland.
Now the Sox have tripled his walk. All right, started out the day with 1, got 2 more, and now this is the problem that the Sox have had lately. They've scored 6 runs in the past 2 games combined, and they've left 9 men on base. Now normally that's fine for them because they scored 10 runs or plus, but with so little runs coming in, you need to find a way to work the bases. Randy Tomlin over there on third base, extremely aggressive. Can you find a way to work it while there's only 1 batter at the plate?
Wynn dancing at first, prompted to throw. Canizero applied the tag, and he was safe by a mile. His first pitch to Strickland paints the outside corner for strike 1. Tomlin not giving the sign now, but Wynn has a lead, and he has the wrist guard almost off, and he will prompt another throw over, and once again a smooth slide from Wynn. He'll get back safely. Ryan Wynn on the season, just a stolen base, but we've seen him get on base and kind of similar to what Ethan Gibson did before. He can motor from first to third in a quick time. Strickland ropes this into left center field, giving chase, and eventually stutter stepping and corralling it in is Chris Katz. Looked like Katz wasn't going to be able to get there, but eventually hauled it in. But the hard hit ball from Strickland is reeled in, and now Sam Mumaw, the bottom of the order, will dig in with 2 outs and 1 on here in the top of the second.
Just seen that ball would line down to the left field, but just kind of carried for a while. Now Sam Mumaw coming up to the plate, 175 on the season. He scored 10 runs for the Tom Sox so far. He's played significant in a couple pieces, but you really want to see him get going after this All-Star break.
Mumaw chopped to third. Waringer tosses it over to first. Canizero pulled off the bag, but still able to apply the tag on Mumaw for out number 3. So once again, we go scoreless through the top of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the frame. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. Back at you on Tom Sox TV. Dylan Price, Mike Bolger. We rejoin you for all the action this evening here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park. Thomas Whalen continues on in the start. He will face Cam Nelson, Matthew Delgado, and Anthony Pascal on the slate for the Turks this evening. First pitch from Whalen is fouled back, sky high. It was tracking towards our box, but the netting behind home plate will keep it there and keep it from going into the crowd. So the count will quickly go to 0-1. Whalen working through the first frame, scoreless with just a hit, but able to work out of a jam with 2 on the base pass, retiring the next 3 batters he'd face. Whalen kicks the leg, fires the 0-1 high for ball 1, count even at 1 apiece against Cam Nelson, the center fielder for the Turks. Nelson on the season, 231 average, has worked 5 walks, has yet to drive in a run or played his first home run. 1-1 count, no outs. Nelson cut on and missed, jammed him up a little bit there, and now Whalen will work ahead into the count, 1-2. Whalen mentioned is getting just his second start of the season, has been lengthened out a little bit as a starter. 4 innings he pitched the last time, getting the start for Randy Tomlin's squad. The 1-2 incoming, Strickland got the glove up, showing high. It's high heat, but he misses on the outside part of the plate, so the count goes even at 2 apiece.
Hit him with a disgusting breaking ball, then try to get him to chase outside real quick to put him away with 4 pitches. But Whalen working with Strickland behind home plate. He's been liking a lot of the pitches he's gotten early on, but this time he waves 2 off.
The 2-2. Roped down the first base side is just going to go a little bit far and foul, a couple feet to the side, maybe say 6-7 or so. Now the count will remain at 2-2, and honestly a lucky break for Whalen, because last time we were here we were able to see, I think it was Johnny Lopez, put one perfectly down the first base side, and at that point there's a little nook and cranny over there, and it's hard to get that ball out of there.
Well, that line drive just seemed dead, too. It just seemed like it's carried forever.
2-2, and that goes right inside and clips the front leg of Nelson. Nelson is aboard, and he will head to first after the hit by pitch.
Hit him right in that shin guard, though, so lucky, I guess, bounce, if you want to say, off of his leg. That doesn't seem like he's feeling too much pain, so it did its job.
Batting 7th, the catcher, number 35, Matthew Delgado.
Matthew Delgado doing the catching duties tonight. We've seen him do that in every game the Tom Sox have played against the Turks this season. 258 average, a homer, and 7 ribbies for Delgado. Also give him the crown of best walk-up song in the VBL, unwritten, Natasha Bedingfield. First pitch is a called strike 1, broke over the heart of the plate. Strickland going to pop up after it kind of bounced off and towards that AstroTurf grass. Sox in their navy blue uniforms as this is going to skate away. It was a throw over to Ferraro. Ferraro could have gloved it down, and now going all the way from first to third and stopping there, at least for now, is Nelson. Nelson races all the way around on the error. And the Turks, with no outs here in the bottom of the second, threatening to put the first run across the plate.
Here we go, Dylan. This is what we've been talking about a lot about this Tom Sox team as of late. I mean, they just strand runners on, and then the fielding has just been inconsistent, to say the least. Sometimes they have, like, really good double plays, really good communication. Then next, they're throwing balls past each other on pickoff plays. So got to get it down.
0-1 chopped down the first base side. Ferraro just going to throw it to Whalen. Is Whalen even going to be able to get there? Diving down. Weird play. Whalen tags the bag. The run will not cross the plate. Nelson held at third. So all things considered, in a awkward, strange play that even saw Delgado, the catcher, slide down, Tom Sox getting out. Delgado seems to be fine. I think that's honestly just a win-win for both sides in a awkward play.
Well, especially these turf fields, they scare me the most. I mean, out of anything, when you talk about fielding, and Delgado just kind of seemed like he was wanting to slide, then tripped over himself a little bit, and then luckily able to just pop right back up and head to the dugout.
It's Anthony Pascal, the right fielder, called ball 1 to him here. 90 feet from home, the first run of this contest is Cam Nelson representing it. And digging in is Anthony Pascal. Pascal, a consistent Portal lineup, 280 hitter. Check swing, didn't go, and it was outside. The Rider University outfielder, junior year out there, 280 average. He's stolen 4 bags on the season. He's one of the best bag stealers in a VBL, and most of the best runners are actually on this Turks team. Perez, Green have 5 apiece, Pascal 4, Nelson 4. cut on and missed. Actually, they'll say he tipped it at the tail end there. So Pascal sees the count go to 2-1 with an out, and that runner on third. Scoreless we are here in the bottom of the second. From James Madison University, Turks, Tom Sox. Some BBL South action on this Monday night. The 2-1 from Whalen. Chopped down the third base side. The run is going to score. Mumaw. Actually, excuse me, that's Wallace. The long hair got me there. He tosses it over to Ferraro, 4 out, too.
What a weird side there by Nelson at home plate. He slid in, then he did like 2 barrel rolls and had his legs like kick up and fly up into the air. But luckily he's all good. Made it down, and now the bottom of the lineup officially coming to a close here for the Turks with Brett Weringer coming up, 206 on the season, and one of the big players from Georgetown coming up for Bob Weiss.
Weringer, incredibly athletic third baseman. First pitch to him, paints the outside corner for strike 1. So the first run has crossed the plate in the 5-3 ground out from Pascal. Cam Nelson coming around after that hit by pitch and the error. And another cut here from Weringer will make the count 0-2 with 2 outs. Whalen trying to work out of the frame. The 0-2 to Weringer. High for ball 1. And the count will go to 1-2. Weringer will live to fight another day.
Doesn't matter with no runners on base, but what a grab by Kel Strickland, stretching that left arm up.
The Monroe, New Jersey native digging in against Whalen. The 1-2 line. Ferraro, beautiful backhand, and he will tag the bag unassisted. The Blinn Buccaneer with a nice play to end the frame. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and no men left on base. We head to the top of the third. Hang with us on Tom Sox TV. The JMU Duke Chaifetz continues on in his outing as we rejoin you in the top of the third. Dukes play a run after a hit by pitch. Saw Cam Nelson come all the way around from first base, and they now lead the Turks. 1-0 here in the top of the third. It's back to the top of the order for the Tom Sox. Johnny Lopez digs in from Seminole State. The All-Star and Home Run Derby representative, a late addition to the fold. Subbed in for Tommy Roldan, sending our best wishes to Roldan as the first pitch Lopez outside for ball 1. Roldan, scary injury in the play on Friday night. He was on the mound getting the start, a little bit of a race over to first base. Things got a little weird as Lopez tips this and the count will go even at 1 apiece, and sending our best to Roldan. And Roldan obviously not participating, health priority, so Johnny Lopez going all the way to the second round in the Home Run Derby as he skies this down the third base side and way foul. Good run, though, for Johnny, getting a chance to just hit some balls, a little bit of more competitive BP, and some fun All-Star festivities for him.
Oh, yeah, it's just a fun outing on Saturday as, you know, he represents one of the teams that leads the South Valley League in home runs with 18 compared to, well, I guess you can compare it to the Turks' 10 now today, but yeah, he got a couple fly balls out there.
The 2-2 outside. Count goes to 3-2, so Lopez has worked this count back from 1-2 to a full. Chaifetz, once again, continuing to work quickly here, finding a rhythm. Skied, way high. Nobody can seem to track it. The second baseman for now has it, and eventually able to reel it in is Cam Harris. But that was one of those fly balls we talked about before that Chris Katz had that just hung in the sky. It never came down, but eventually it will for out number 1.
Well, that ball was absolutely crushed, but Lopez got too far underneath of it. So if he leveled out a swing just a little bit and timed it up perfectly, that might have been, I don't know, a home run derby plus addition to Saturday. I don't know if you can tally it after Saturday, but
Gibson chopped over to short. Evans racing forward, charging forward, almost ran it all the way to first himself. And even Ethan Gibson going to have to admire that nice play from Jalen Evans. Shortstop to shortstop here, and that's out number 2.
I'll say Evans flashing off the quickness and agility in his arm. His arm like whipped around. He was right behind the mound there, and great out there for the Turks. My goodness.
Practically took the ball all the way to first himself.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, him and Gibson over there on shortstop, it's going to be a fun back-and-forth battle all day long, even if they're not going up against each other.
Called strike 1 to Levy. Count goes to 0-1. 320 to right field, 400 to dead center, and 340 to left as Levy watches it go outside low for ball 1. This is not your traditional home run ballpark by any stretch. The batter's eye is a ways out there. Left field's a ways out there compared to some of the other parks. Levy crushed. Right center, back, track, and reeling. No! Thought he was going to reel it in with an easy play, but dropping it in the last seconds. Pascal thought it, I think, was going to play off the wall. It wasn't going to have enough height to get out here, but wow. Last second, drops down. Pascal thought he was going to be able to reel it in. That's why you cushion it with 2 hands, folks. With 1 hand, Pascal tried to reel it in. And now Robbie Levy on the E9 will head all the way to second base. And the runner in scoring position now for Wallace, the cleanup hitter with 2 outs.
3 things on that play. 1, he had to battle the sun that's coming down into right field. 2, heads-up base running by Robbie Levy. He did not stop. And sometimes guys just kind of leave it.
Wallace rifled into left center. Levy gets the go. It's going to be a play at the plate. Levy slides in safely. Wallace heads to second. And what a turn of events. In just 2 plays, Robbie Levy scores and Kobe Wallace drives home the equalizer. It's a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 3rd.
As we explained that pass play, I mean, Wallace, probably one of his best hits of the season, ropes one in between the shortstop and third baseman, and then it just dribbles out. Levy had a round third. Tomlin, again, no doubt about sending him on home, and we got a tied ball game now.
Wallace at second after a 1-pitch hit. And he'll stand in scoring position. The offense breaking through. Caden Ferraro will take a called strike 1. Ferraro, the Blaine Buccaneer, mentioned a .384 average, 18 home runs, 82 runs driven in, a .763 slugging percentage. The guy can rake.
Run machine.
We'll see what he does here with the runner on and Wallace. And now 1 run across the plate for the Sox. Ferraro holds back, and that's called ball 1. Good eye there from the Blaine Buccaneers. So Chaifetz off to a stellar start and gets 2 outs here, but an E9 and a beautiful piece of hitting from Colby Wallace has the Tom Sox and the Turks tied at 1 apiece. Another hold back here from Ferraro. That one was low. It's a 2-1 count with 2 outs, and now the tides have turned, and the Tom Sox, who have played here once already on the season, they lost in that 10-1 deficit, but they just got their first win against the Turks about a week ago, trying to get their second in short order, as this is rifled really down the third base side and foul. One of the Turks pitchers will come out of the pen and retrieve it.
Well, it's off to a good start, too, with Waylon on the mound, only allowing 1 hit so far today, and again, that error kind of broke up the stat line a little bit, but both these pitchers going back and forth with each other.
The 2-2 misses inside. Now Ferraro in a 3-2 count with 2 outs and a runner on second, and Colby Wallace, who drives in another run on the season. Colby Wallace has been an offensive catalyst for the Sox in short time. The payoff pitch misses, and now Ferraro will head to first, and it'll be 2 on, 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd, and Jake Books coming to bat.
First off, great eye discipline from Ferraro on the plate. And congratulations to your first bag with the Tom Sox over there on first base. And now Books, who's been, again, another just fantastic addition. Heads, I mean, this entire second wave of players coming in for the Tom Sox this season has just been absolutely incredible to see.
First pitch to Books misses. It's a 1-0 count. Pitching out of the stretch is Chaifetz, the JMU Duke. Stares over at Wallace and then now sets. Stares back again, kicks the leg, fires, Books, roped into left center, but tracking it and reeling it in cleanly for the final out is Chris Katz. Sharply hit, but the end of the inning regardless. Jake Books plays around like he was going to kick the helmet and then chuckles a little bit and heads back to the dugout. But the Sox have something to smile about. They've tied things up at 1 run apiece. We head to the bottom of the third as the Turks try to answer back here on Tom Sox TV. Tied up at 1 apiece. We go into the bottom of the third. Rejoining you here on Tom Sox TV, Dylan Price, Mike Bolger. Got you covered for all the action this evening here at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the beautiful James Madison University. Not a cloud in the sky. Mike, you and I taking a abbreviated short tour with fellow media intern Gigi Jones before we got in here. Wanted to drive around the campus a little bit, see the football stadium as Jalen Evans, first pitch to him from Thomas Whalen, paints the outside corner for strike one. Gorgeous stadium. Got to see it on display on College Game Day this year, so wanted to go see it in person, and I think it lived up to the hype. It was pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. The press box was up there, and
roped underneath the glove of Sam Mumaw into center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. And Jalen Evans will have a single to lead off the bottom of the third.
that press box was just towering over the stadium, basically. We were both admiring that, thinking as media people what that would be like to call that game. But, yeah, great atmosphere. I always wanted to, come down south and really see a lot of, UNC, sorry, Virginia fans, Clemson. I want to see a bunch of these different games and just see the atmospheres. Virginia Tech, again, sorry. Apologies.
You're just finding every way to tick
Oh,
off
yeah,
UVA
you kidding
fans. Whalen throws over to first to Ferraro. Evans slides back, and he'll get set to set in against Cameron Harris here.
What's the fun part about our summers? We can go tour different stadiums like JMU. I mean, it's fun just kind of looking around and seeing different aspects of where we're from and then we're from, down here.
First pitch to Harris, outside ball one, some movement in the Sox pen. Just some stretching for now. Whalen hasn't gone past 4 frames on the season yet. This is his second start of the season as well. This is skied foul, third base side, excuse me. And 1-1, no outs, and the runner on first in Jalen Evans. Whalen allowing just 1 run on 2 hits thus far. Both sides have an error in the contest as well. Whalen, the runner on first, kicks the leg, fires high for ball 2.
Both those errors also leading to the runs that both teams have scored. So both teams capitalizing off of the mistakes that each other are making. So it's just who can get in a rhythm next and capitalize off of their opponents.
Evans running, Strickland guns the throw down, tag applied, but Evans able to slide around the tag of Mumaw, and he will head over to second with a stolen base.
Cal Strickland's got a great arm, but Evans absolutely just, I don't know if you could have gotten a better jump on first base to get over to second, and then the slide was just perfect, so Evans flashing off his ability to get around the diamond.
Talked about it before, alluded to it. That's his 4th stolen base of the season. He's now tied with Pascal and Nelson for second on the team. They have 4 apiece. This is a Turks team that steals more bases than nearly every team in the VBL. Evans now in scoring position. The offering, the 3-1 coming to Cam Harris. Harris sees it go high for ball 4, and now got to wonder if maybe the pace gets pushed for one of these relievers in the Sox pen. If Whalen can't work out of this jam, he's going to have 2 on and no outs for the dangerous Chris Katz, who digs in. He leads the team in runs driven in with 22, and that's also the best mark in the Valley League.
Yeah, right now, regarding the Tom Sox bullpen, they're still stretching. Doesn't seem like anybody's too much in a hurry off of that pitch as well. Whalen kind of shook his head like, a little borderline there.
Guarding over at second is Mumaw. Katz, first pitch to him inside for ball 1. So Mumaw kind of guarding, playing that shadow over second, watching Evans. Now actually kind of talking with him a little bit there. And Gibson playing a little bit farther back, middle infield playing back, third baseman and Wallace. And he's playing kind of just natural spot, whereas Ferraro playing behind the base runner in Harris. Whalen kicks the leg. Katz skied high. Shallow right center. Books comes on, reels it in. Evans threatens the tag up, but that was going to be a super shallow ball to even try anything on. So Katz, second time up, and second really high fly out. Katz, a guy we know can really just lash the ball into any part of the ballpark, for lack of a better word. And tonight has just kind of topped 2 of them.
Yeah, and, he had a really good outing in the Prospects game. He had great appearances after that as well. I mean, Katz has just been one of the rock solid hitters in this lineup in the top 3. So one of the reasons why the Turks have won 4 straight lately.
First pitch to Hatcher. That's the inside part of the plate for strike 1. So there was a suspended game in the midst of things there, but it is a 4-game win streak for the Turks after their loss against the Tom Sox last Friday. They've went on a real run here coming into the All-Star break, and then now coming out of it here, they'll try to keep that momentum going. The 0-1 incoming from Whalen, who pitches out of the stretch with Evans on second. And that's line back and foul. Count will go to 0-2, and against the designated hitter Luke Hatcher here, who we mentioned, .375 average, 5 home runs, 20 runs driven in. Some of the best marks in the league. Getting ahead 0-2 is a good spot to be with 2 on and just an out. Hatcher, bat on the shoulder, Whalen. Glove high, sets, checks in on Evans. Double take. Now we'll kick the leg in a second. He'll triple take. Don't see that often. Now kicks the leg, fires. Hatcher sliced over by the Sox dugout.
Yeah, Evans is he's not dancing too much over there on second. So that third look, Dylan, I was as surprised as you to see that at first. But especially with Cale Strickland's arm, I don't expect Evans to take third anytime soon.
Saw Sam Mumaw pull a similar move on Gio Arzwaga the other night against the Waynesboro Generals. Just dancing over there at second. Didn't do anything, but just enough to keep his eye on him. Hatcher really hit well into left field. Wynn can't glove it. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And on a hard hit ball, it's the Luke Hatcher show yet again. It's his world, and we're all just living in it. 2 runs plated on the double. And the West Georgia DH has the Turks leading 3-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Man, that ball was just absolutely roped into left field, got down, and then Wynn just just misjudged it, I guess, there, and then off the wall, he couldn't get back to it. It just seemed like the ball just kept rolling away from him when he was trying to get after it, and that led to both runners coming around and scoring. Harris, too. How about him? From first to home? Man.
It was hit really well. Wynn wasn't going to be able to get it. It was going to take a bounce, and it took an awkward one underneath his glove, and now Hatcher stands on second after a 2 RBI double. Whalen checks in on him. Kicks the leg, fires, off-speed pitch, doesn't land, and it's inside. 4-1. Jake Canizero digs in. He grounded out. 5-3, first time up. It ended that first inning with 2 on there. Sox were able to work out of that jam, but this time around, no dice. Luke Hatcher making a really strong claim for the best hitter in the Valley League. Check swing, Canizero doesn't go around. It's a 2-0 count. That was just in a spot where no one was. Dropped it right in a bucket. Wynn wasn't able to get there. We know his speed, but not able to get there in time. Just a perfect piece of hitting from Luke Hatcher. He stands at second. Canizero digs in with an out here. 2-0 count. Whalen will try to continue on in the start and go the full frame.
Looks like we're going to get a violation on Whalen. Took too long on the mound, so 3-0 now. Third base umpire called that one.
Bottom of the third. Sox, after knotting things up in the top of the frame, trying to escape here and keep it within a manageable reach. The 3-0. Whalen, get me over fastball lanes, and now it's a 3-1 count with an out. And it wasn't something that we noticed often, the violations, but it was something that really came to be the last time the Tom Sox were here. Hudson Trobaugh, no longer with the team, was having some issues with it. Maybe just a different ballpark, college park, whatever it may be.
Ooh.
High, far, wind, able to reel it in. It just kind of hung in the sky. Sounded really, really good off the bat at Canizero. Thought it was just going to kind of sky its way into left field and maybe even onto the warning track, but just hung in the sky, and that's out too.
Yeah, not too much of a breeze right now. The American flag is kind of blowing from our left to right, so out in left field. It might have stopped it a little bit, but we thought that ball was
I thought it was going to be
goodbye. Like, oh
no
my
doubt
goodness.
off the bat at Canizero. At least from our vantage point, it looked like it was going to be good at first, but it just kind of like the Cats fly ball before, hung in the sky. We've seen it already quite a bit here. Nelson swings on the first pitch he sees, really chases it, almost loses the bat.
Well, as you said earlier, Dylan, this field is probably the deepest in the VBL, I think. I don't think there's a field like this that anybody else is playing on, which is an advantage and also disadvantage for a lot of these teams.
The 0-1 in the dirt, bounces behind Strickland. Hatcher not going to test it. He just walks right back to second. Turks in a spot they lead 3-1. You don't really need to test anything crazy here.
No, but back to the field, like if you're a power team like the Tom Sox, this hurts you a little bit. But if you're like the Turks, where you rely on most of your bats to just get on base, and this is a huge, huge advantage. Where, you know, back at Charlottesville High School, the right field is 290.
Take you back to that long fly ball in the right center before, as this is going to miss the mark. It'll go to 2-1 from Robbie Levy. It was on the warning track at the wall. Thought it was going to even be out of here, but it was not high enough. It bounced off, but I can tell you with almost certainty.
Oh, yeah.
At CHS, that's Levy's second homer in 2 games.
Yep.
But the benefit of being Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park for the Turks. Inside, paints it. 2-2, 2 outs. Whalen trying to work out of the frame with just the 2 runs allowed. Brett Gassman warming in the pen for the Sox. 2-2, 2 outs. And Cam Nelson, who was hit by a pitch and came around to score the first run here, trying to add on after 2 have already been played in here in the bottom of the third. Just missing is Whalen's 2-2 offering. So the count will be full. Pitching out of the stretch, the payoff pitch incoming with 2 outs and the runner on second. The Davidson righty. Readies, sets, looks down, fires. Called strike 3. Whalen works out of the frame. 2 runs cross the plate, though, on 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left on base. We go to the 4th inning with the Turks leading 3-1. Hang with us as the Tom Sox try to answer back on Tom Sox TV. Top of the fourth, as we rejoin you on Tom Sox TV. Dylan Price, Mike Bolger. Got you covered for all the action on this gorgeous Monday night here from Eagle Field at Veteran Memorial Park. And the Turks, to the tune of 2 runs off the bat of Luke Hatcher, lead 3-1. It's Ryan Wynn up for the Sox. First pitch to him, outside part of the plate for a called strike one. It's Wynn, Strickland, Mumaw, the bottom of the order. No less, maybe more, as the Sox try to answer back. Wynn sharply hit to second base, but dropping the glove down and fielding it over to Canizaro with ease is Harris for out number 1. So Ryan Wynn getting the action out there in left field for a bulk of that inning, whether it's a fly ball or that big double that he had to track down from Hatcher. Now has to try to dig in here, and that's got to be a bit of a tough situation to be in after you're the guy who gets pretty much all the action on the defensive side of things, then to lead off the inning. That's a tiring. Just get some water now and try to relax after a bit of a tiring third into the fourth.
Well, and also that he normally plays the inner part of the infield. So outfield really isn't his gig too much, but again, that's the benefit of summer ball is that you get moved around to different positions and then, you get tested in different areas. So it's definitely a building experience for him, and to get that much action out in left field is definitely a benefit to him. And then, as you said, also tiring.
2-0 to Strickland. Strickland, chop. Warringer plays it off the hop. Long-ranging throw. Canizaro pulled off the bag. Strickland tried to run out of the baseline and evade it, but to no avail, and that's going to be out number 2.
That's the second time that he's done that. He's kind of come off the bag a little bit to grab the throw, and he doesn't need to too much, but I guess it's just kind of part of his play over there on first base.
Get you some scores from around the Valley League in the onset of some of these contests, as a 7:30 first pitch gives you time to look and see how some of the other teams around the Valley League are doing. Newmarket, that's final against Winchester in Winchester. First pitch to Sam Mumaw, Florida Gator, called strike 1. Newmarket winning 10-3 at Jim Barnett Park. Time of that one was a 5 p.m. first pitch, just wrapping up about a half hour ago as the 0-1 offering to Mumaw. Mumaw skied first base side. Tracking it is Canizaro, but it is way, way out of play. Bounces off the fencing and over towards the concessions. Waynesboro leads Culpeper at Culpeper County High. 2-1 the score in that in the top of the 6th. At Bing Crosby Stadium, Strasburg leads Front Royal 7-1, bottom of the 4th. And Front Royal and Strasburg trails, or leads 7-0 in that in the bottom of the 4th. Mumaw lines this back in foul. Didn't have a score on that one for you at first, but now we got you. As all the teams resuming play after the VBL All-Star game yesterday, kudos to the North. It was not even a competition, a 20-2 final yesterday, and a dominant victory for the North. Mumaw fouls this towards the Turks dugout. One of the assistant coaches, bare hand grab. Nice play there from him. So the steps below us, the metal steps, these children are running around, and I feel like a lifeguard at the pool. I'm about to pop the window and tell them to stop running.
Where's your whistle?
I might need one. We might have one when we get back in the bottom of the 4th. But Mumaw trying to keep us from that point. The 0-2 just missing inside to him there from Chaifetz. And this is a start that after that third got a little dicey here. Chaifetz has really settled in and tossed a pretty good outing to this point. The 1-2 with 2 outs. Mumaw down the third base side, just missing the foul line. And it will go foul. Warringer tried to track it down and glove it, but Mumaw has just kind of missed on a couple of those foul balls, and you even see him kind of grimace there like, oh, I really wanted that one.
Yeah, you just got to get his timing down. But even if that was roped down that third base line, Warringer was right there. I think that would have been the final out of this inning.
Mumaw readies for the 1-2. Chaifetz, the JMU Duke, trying to work out of the frame at his home park. Check swing, doesn't go, and it's outside. So good time holding off there from Mumaw. Count will go even. Johnny Lopez in the top of the order, represented in that on-deck circle. Lopez has flown out twice thus far tonight. The 2-2 to Mumaw. Mumaw check swing. This time hung him up. Chaifetz works out of the frame for strike number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th here on Tom Sox TV. Turks lead 3-1. Bottom of the fourth, Matthew Delgado, Anthony Pascal, and Brett Waringer on the docket for the Sox in this frame. Bottom of the order for the Turks, who lead 3-1 as we enter into this bottom of the frame. Dylan Price, Mike Bolger on this beautiful Monday night here on the campus of James Madison University. Keep saying it as that's ball inside of Delgado, but not too often in this league we get to play at these beautiful college parks, and James Madison having a real gem here in the hills of Virginia. Cut on and missed for strike one. And I mentioned it earlier, but College Game Day taking a stop here this year with JMU undefeated heading into the latter part of their schedule. They would drop a couple games. And cut on and missed once again. High heat. Can't connect. Delgado misses on that one. So it was the JMU Dukes who were ranked. They were a top 25 football team. They also made the NCAA tournament this year and making a run on the baseball side of things in their jump to Division I as that pitch misses. High for ball two. They were FCS National Champion Wagon. We were talking about that on the football side of things on our drive here, but making the jump to the FBS level this year and getting an exemption eventually to play in a bowl game. Sliding is Gibson, and that's just going to kind of sneak under him for a single for Delgado. So once again, it's a one-out single, or no-out single, and one runner on with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth for the Turks. Getting guys on to lead things off. Every batter to lead off the frame thus far has reached base for the Turks.
Yeah, that was tough for Whalen. Right now, we kind of were talking before we came back. We thought he'd maybe get one out, and then Brett Gassman would come on in. So he got the count he wanted, just not the pitch located correctly.
And that is skied into left field. Back. Track. Wall. Goodbye. Anthony Pascal. Long fly ball, and it is well out of here. Anthony Pascal, his first home run in Valley League play. It'll plate two, and the Turks lead 5-1 here in the bottom of the fourth.
That one just left right over the plate. A beautiful swing from Pascal, and he just sent it over that left field fence, as you said, Dylan, right over that college sign where a couple fans are at. You can grab a souvenir to head home with, and now Randy Tom looks like he's going to come relieve Whalen. But, you know, this is what we were talking about last time, was this Turks team gets out to these huge leads early on, which the Tom Sox used to be able to do, but now they've been more contested as of late. So what can you do here to reset on defense and get your bats going?
Well, the defense will look to reset as a new pitcher will be leading the charge. Brett Gassman makes the long jog from the bullpen just in the right field fencing. He'll trot in, he'll warm up, and we will step aside as Thomas Whalen's night is done here on Tom Sox TV. By way of Little Rock, Arkansas, from Charleston Southern University, Brett Gassman, the big lefty, 6'1", 208 pounds, is set to go here against the Turks. It's the bottom of the order, Brett Wehringer, and after a 2-run bomb from Anthony Pascal, the Turks lead 5-1. We rejoin you with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth on Tom Sox TV. Gassman, a 5.53 ERA, 3-1 record with 5 games appeared in on the season, 13 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 4 walks. Wehringer, first pitch to him, cuts the outside part of the plate for strike one. Last time he faced the Turks, 3 earned runs, 2 1/3, credited with the loss, 6 hits given up in a 12-8 final. One of the 2 Turks wins over the Sox on the season. Cut on and missed. High heat from Gassman, and the count now 0-2.
Yeah, and we got to talk to him after that one, and he just said it himself. It just wasn't him. It just wasn't his outing. That's not what he's about. So he can come back out here, get the outing he wants.
That's a good start to it. Right down the pipe, called strike 3. Wehringer retired on a called strikeout, and that's a heck of a way to bounce back for the Sox after the 2-run bomb for Pascal. They'll go back to the top of the order against Jalen Evans, who is 1 for 1 today. He's reached base twice, a walk and a single. Stole a bag and came around to score the second of 5 runs for the Turks. Gassman working quickly. First pitch inside and low for ball 1. So Evans, a late addition to the lineup and a smart move for Bob Weiss. It's worked thus far, especially on the defensive side of things. We've already mentioned a couple nice grabs for him. Cut on and missed, and I'll say nabbed a piece of it in the tail end there, actually. Either way you cut it, it's a 1-1 count with an out. Gassman shakes off the first sign from Strickland. Now kicks the leg, fires the big lefty. Not going to be able to grab that one as it perfectly through the heart of the diamond for a base hit for Jalen Evans, and that's a 2-hit day for him, and he's reached base in all 3 plate appearances. And now that's a runner on with 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Just seems to be the kryptonite of the Sox. Every time Jalen Evans gets up, I mean, he just works the count the way he wants it, finds the pitch, waits on it, and then rips it right past the infield. Brett Gassman had a chance at that one. It actually looked like it went through his legs almost, but went off to the right-hand side, and that's just going to have to settle back in.
Looks over at Evans on first. Mentioned the speed. He's already stolen a bag today. And then tosses in the first pitch to Harris. Low for ball 1. Harris has similar line to Evans. Actually, it's just the opposite of when he did it. He singled first, then walked. Walk first for Evans, and then a single, and now another single for Evans. And throw over to Evans. Checking in is Ferraro. And then just throwing it back to Gassman. Coming around to score as well was Harris in the previous frame, and the Turks now plating 2 in the third and 2 in the bottom of the fourth. But they're still working. They've got a runner on and an out. Gassman trying to stop it. Called strike here, and Harris digging in after it was another throw over to Evans. Gassman wipes the sweat off and readies. Mumaw playing a shadow in just in case Evans does try to run again, and it's hit right his way. He'll see if he can turn 2. He's got the first out. Gibson fires the second, just not in time. Racing down the base pass was Harris, and able to run it out and keep the inning alive. But getting the force was Mumaw before that, and the fielder's choice will have a runner on first and 2 outs for Chris Katz.
And that's big for the Tom Sox team. I was just about to say, if you can find a way to grab a double play, a really cool diving play, right, get this dugout hyped up and then continue to carry that momentum into the bottom of this the top of this frame. I mean, that would be absolutely huge. So just get a quick fielder's choice. Now you can get Brett Gassman some time to, again, settle in and get the final out of the inning.
Check swing from Katz, holds back. It's a 1-0 count. So Gassman, after striking out the first batter he faced, allowed a single, and now the fielder's choice. He's just trying to work out of this frame that he relieved Thomas Whalen in. Whalen's line is closed. We'll get you the final line on him in just a moment. Katz, check swing. This time it was a called strike. So Whalen tossing 3 innings, allowing 4 earned runs, 5 runs in total, on 4 hits. Throw over, checking in. So it's a 1-1 count with 2 outs on Katz. And it was 1 strikeout for Whalen as well, and 3 walks. Thank you, Mike Bolger, for your assistance on the line. Cats nearly kind of slapped it into play, but it's foul right off a Signs USA sign on the first base side. Good promotion if you're Signs USA. It's kind of a 2-for-1. You have your own sign, and then, hey, if you want to have more signs right next to the Signs USA sign, you call Signs USA or go to SignsUSA.com.
Do you think they make their own signs, or do they get somebody else to do it?
Probably assume they make their own. Gassman swinging strike 3. Sox work out of the frame. Gassman leading the charge with 2 strikeouts here in the bottom of the 4th to limit the damage. But the score 5-1 after a towering 2-run shot from Anthony Pascal. Sox will look to answer back as we head to the top of the 5th. 5-1 your score here from Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park. Sox seek to answer back. They trail 5-1 as we enter into the top of the 5th. Dylan Price, Mike Bolger guiding you through all the action. First pitch, Johnny Lopez outside for ball numero uno. Lopez has flown out twice tonight thus far. The center fielder from Seminole State College, Jason Chaifetz, continues on in the outing. That cuts the outer part of the plate. It's a 1-1 count with no outs.
I was about to say, this is maybe the longest outing, if he gets an out here, that we've seen in person, Dylan. I don't think we've ever seen somebody go 5.
Lopez over to first. Canizero will tag the bag, and it's an unassisted first out. And the Sox have 1 out on the board here, and Ethan Gibson will dig in. It's back to the top of the order. Gibson has walked and grounded out in 2 plate appearances thus far. This is no strange thing for Chaifetz, though. He has gone 5 or more frames in his last 3 starts, earning 2 wins in that as well. Last time out, it was 4 runs in 5 innings, 7 hits and 4 Ks. Before that, though, it was inning really impressive. No earned, as Gibson on a line into center field and not even really having to move much as Nelson to reel it in for out number 2. That's 2 quick outs here, but for Chaifetz, his win against the Lumberjacks, 14-8 victory for the Turks. It was a shootout, but didn't matter much for Chaifetz. 7 hits, 3 runs in total, but none earned. 7 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts. The righty from JMU.
Well, when you just dealt 3 pitches and just put out both of the Tom Sox best hitters in their lineup, I mean, it's no shock this guy can go 6-7 innings.
Some stretching in the Turks' pen, but that's it for now. Levy digs in. It was a called ball on the first pitch to him. The 1-0 hangs outside for ball 2. It was 2-out offense that saw Levy help plate the first run for the Sox in this contest. Kobe Wallace, who's in the on-deck circle, drove him home. Another pitch outside, misses a mark. And Levy, 3-0 count. I actually call that strike that I thought it was. It's called a ball, at least according to our scoreboard operator. The 3-0. Get me over fastball, makes it 3-1.
Yeah, make-up call there.
All things are even as they should be. 3-1, 2 outs. Levy, chopped, kind of into a bit of a hole. Levy's going to try to run it out, but the throw fired in time from Harris to Canizero for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Shifet's in the top of the 5th. He's retired the last 6 batters he's faced in due time. The Turks lead 5-1. We enter to the bottom of the 5th, and when we come back, Mike Bolger will take over on play-by-play here on Tom Sox TV. Halfway through the contest, Mike Bolger will guide you through the conclusion of it. From South Jersey, he's their finest. Mike Bolger, take the mic.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Brett Gassman back out on the mound here for the bottom of the 5th. His first pitch hacked on and fouled down the first base line into the parking lot for the 0-1. Quick defensive change for the Tom Sox. Ryan Wynn over there on second. Sam Muma in left field now. So a quick switch there, and Brett Gassman gets back on the mound, gets a nod from Strickland behind home plate. Second pitch drops in there. First strike, 2. Luke Hatcher, the batter right now for the Turks. He's 1 of 2 today. Flew out in the first and had that 2 RBI double to left field. This one drilled past the shortstop and Ethan Gibson into left field to Sam Muma, and he's just going to walk over to first base for his second hit of the evening.
Luke Hatcher continues to impress. 2-hit day from him here. That's got to blossom the average even higher. He's already now tying, actually, Chris Katz for 22 runs driven in on the season. That tie has them tied as well for the VBL lead. And, well, obviously the best mark on the Turks as well.
He'll take a lead over on first base as Jack Cannizaro comes up, and first pitch, first swing. This one popped up, drifting down the first base line. Under it is Ferrero, and he's going to make the grab for the first out of the inning. So Brett Gassman allows 1 hit and then gets a 1 pitch out here, bringing up Cam Nelson.
Nelson tonight has been hit by a pitch. He came around to score and then struck out looking last time up. Gassman, though, for the most part, gave up a hit as well last time, but settled in nicely thereafter with a fielder's choice and a strikeout. See if he can do the same and try to tee it up to the Sox bats, who have been real quiet after 1 runs and 2 hits.
Lefty v lefty, first pitch fouled back behind us, 0-1. Cam Nelson, the second of 2 Wake Forest players here on this lineup. Christopher Katz being the first. And now Nelson will step back into the box. Gassman fires over to first. And Hatcher's just going to walk right back over. And we'll reset. Matthew Delgado on deck. He'll be followed by Anthony Pascal if we get to it here in the bottom of the 5th. 5-1's your score. Brett Gassman fires this one. Just misses the plate outside. He'll go into 1-1 now. As Hatcher, not a massive lead over on first base, infield and outfield. Balanced stance. Gassman takes a breath. The windup and delivery. This one, dribbled over to Wynn. Could turn 2. Fires over to second. Grabs 1, but Cam Nelson beats the throw over to first. And We'll have 2 outs here now. Fielder's choice for the Tom Sox as Matthew Delgado comes up to the plate. 1 of 2 today. Grounded out in the 2nd inning. And then had that single in the 4th. Was then hit home by the Anthony Pascal home run. So as Gassman looks to keep another 0 here on the board for the Tom Sox. It'll be the 2nd scoreless inning if the Tom Sox get out of it today. Out of 5 so far. Gassman. First Delgado. First pitch drops in on the outside of the plate. 0-1.
And this would be big for Gassman and for Randy Tomlin's squad as a whole. There's no action in the pen right now. Get some distance, get some legs out of Gassman here with a pretty daunting stretch of consistent games coming up on the schedule.
Gassman checks over to first base, not in time for anything. And, we were talking about it, that this could be the bounce-back performance for Gassman to go here after Wayland gives up 5. And as you said, Dylan, he's impressed so far. 2 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 hits. And that is it so far. 0-1, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Swing on a miss there. It looks like they're going to call it foul tip for Delgado. So he'll go down 0-2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Brett Gassman looking to get out of the inning, allowing 1 hit to Hatcher, who's on first base right now. Gassman stares down the batter. Fires this one. Swing and a miss for Brett Gassman. Firing heat on the mound. Gets his 3rd strikeout of the early outing for him. And we're going to head to the top of the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. 5-1 your score, Turks lead. Jeffett's back out on the mound for the Turks here as we head to the top of the 6th inning on Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price join along with you guys for what's been a beautiful outing here for a great game between Tom Sox and the Harrisonburg Turks. Right now the Turks do lead 5-1, but Colby Wallace up at the plate takes the first pitch in for ball 1. So he'll go up on a 1-0 count. Wallace so far today, he's got 2 hits, a single and a double. He has the only RBI of today. The second pitch, lofts this one to deep left field. Under it is Katz. He's going to call everybody off and make the grab for the first out of the inning. And as of this past week, the Tom Sox have been batting a .225 as a team. 18 hits, 11 runs. It's their fewest runs scored in a week so far this season. So the offense has not been the same since basically the prospect game, as first pitch delivered to Caden Ferraro is up high and away for ball 1. So Randy Tomlin's team looking to get back into the swing of things. They've left 5 men on base today, have scored off of the Turks' 1 error on the evening. Second pitch away from the batter, 2-0. Ferraro takes the third pitch outside. All 3 balls have gone past the righty's batter's box for the lefty, so staying disciplined at the plate. No one warming up in the Turks bullpen as the get-me fastball is in there for strike one. 3-1, 1 out. Here in the top of the 6th, no one on. Sheffitz fires this one and fouled back by Ferrero. Kind of looked at that one and knew if he had the timing down, it might have done some damage. But now we'll get our full count. 1 out. Umpire signals play. Sheffitz gets the nod, the windup and delivery. This one fouled back behind us and into the parking lot. Kids are going to go chase after that one, and we'll do it again. Ferrero just joined the team. First game with the Tom Sox, and so far today he's 0-1. Strikeout and a walk. Now his 3rd at-bat. Sheffitz fires to Ferrero. This one again fouled down the 3rd base line. We're going to rinse and repeat here for the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Welcome back, Dylan Price.
Clearly most of the time I was gone was the at-bat. Goodness.
Well, 9th pitch, here we go. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. This one drops in for ball, and Caden Ferrero wins the at-bat, heads over to the first base for his 2nd walk of the evening.
Reached base safely in his last 2 plate appearances, and there is someone warming in the Turks pen. Get you a number on that in just a moment here.
I seen a 2 and a 1, Dylan.
I've got the 2-1 too. It's just the, point streak roster loading.
Looks like that's Craig, if I'm not mistaken. We have had a couple times this season where jerseys have been swapped, so that could be Benjamin Craig, number 21, lefty from Maryland, Baltimore.
I believe it is Craig, and Craig we've seen already face the Tom Sox on 2 occasions this season, combining for 2 2/3, and we might be seeing Craig soon. It's a mound visit here, but it's not Bob Weiss, so it might not be a pitching change.
So after Delgado went out and met on the mound, the coach is going to head out there as well. It seems like they're just buying some time, and now here comes Benjamin Craig. Wait, gets a fist pump from his teammate in the bullpen. There's the signal, and we're going to get our first pitching change here for the Turks in the top of the 6th. We're going to get you guys the final line for Sheffitz when we come back right here on Tom Sox TV. Welcome back, everybody, to Tom Sox TV. Jake Books will come up to the plate fencing the new pitcher, Benjamin Craig, for the Turks. He comes on in as Sheffitt's line isn't closed with a runner on first and Caden Ferreira. As so far today he's gone 5 1/3, 2 hits allowed, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, 1 run. It was not earned after that drop in right field by Pascal. Wow, that one was tough to get out. The 2-0 right now for Craig. You know, sometimes
it happens.
Words just don't flow out.
Would be 3rd win of the season. He's in line for right now in Sheffields.
Craig fires this one, drops in for strike 1. 2-1 count now with 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
2 2/3 tossed, 1 run allowed in 2 outings against the Sox on the season for Craig.
Craig looks over at first. Now swing and a miss from Books. That's Craig. Battles back in the count to make it 2-2 now. The left-handed pitcher kind of does that sidearm throw. It's a little different from what the Tom Sox have seen today. 5th pitch. Curves all the way out. Now we're going to get a full count here in the 6th. Turks lead 5-1. Tom Sox looking for their first run since the 3rd inning when they scored off of a Robbie Levy error and then a double by Colby Wallace. This one dribbled down on third base line, almost fair. Does go foul, so we'll do it again at the plate. As Ferrero looking to get extra bases in on that one. We haven't seen too much of him with as it's his first game with the Sox. So we'll be watching him closely. He's around the bases. He's on base for the 2nd time today. Books settles back in. 3-2, 1 out. Craig fires this one. Swing and a miss from Books. Benjamin Craig comes in, gets his first K of the evening, and has now 2 away here in the 6th as Ryan Wynn makes his way up to the plate. Wynn, a walk in the 2nd, and he grounded out in the 4th. Batting a .291 on the season coming into the game. We'll look for his first hit here. It's Tom Sox down by 4. Craig fires this one. Thought about it, but too far outside. 1-0.
Just missed there, but I mean, what a strikeout there from Craig. He kind of just dropped it in the bucket on Books, and Books really couldn't do anything by the time it landed in the glove, just fanning at it.
This one able to grab the strike zone. First strike, 1-1.
This is a tough spot now for the Sox. You get that runner on with just an out and trailing 4. It's still early, but you really got to start moving some of these runners across the plate.
3rd pitch just misses. 2-1 now, 2 outs. Ferrero over on first. Not a massive lead as Canizaro's guarding the bag. Craig focuses on home plate. This one drops low for ball 3. Wynn looking to get on base for the 2nd time today. Righty v righty matchup. Here we go. The 3-1. Wynn takes that one outside, and it's going to be ball 4. So the Tom Sox keep the inning alive, have 2 on base now as Cale Strickland's going to have to take off his catcher's gear and walk up to the plate for the 3rd time today. Flew out to left, grounded out to 3rd to 1st.
And that's a big win for the Sox. Pun intended there. I saw the little glare you just gave me. But it's a big win because you got the runner in Ferrero that you're not really wasting now. You have him in scoring position. Obviously, still a lot's got to be done to make a lot out of these 2 runners on, but at least you bounce back and get 2 on now in the frame. And stranding runners has been a problem. We talked about it in the break, but 5 runners left on the base pass thus far tonight for the Sox. Got to get some of these guys moving here and hopefully play a few runs here if you're Randy Tomlin's crew.
They've got 2 on with Cale Strickland and an 0-1 count at the plate with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. 2nd pitch just able to grab the plate. Cale Strickland doesn't think so, but a home plate umpire calls it. Now here we go. Benjamin Craig, 1 strike from getting out of the inning with 2 runners on. Ferrero over on 2nd, Wynn on 1st. Strickland at the plate. 3rd pitch just misses. Fans react. Thought they might have gotten the backwards K to end the inning, but do it again. 1-2. Craig dials in. Strickland awaits the pitch. Swings at this one, dribbler over to Harris on second, flips it over to shortstop, and gets the out to end the inning. But the Tom Sox leave another 2 runners on base. Fail to put anything on the scoreboard. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th inning here on Tom Sox TV with Turks leading 5-1. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning, Matthew Delgado will lead us off here against Brett Gassman, making his way out for his 3rd inning as they trail by 4 here on Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price back with you guys here as the lights have come out in full force with the sun officially setting behind us as first pitch, ball 1. Quick look at the VBL standing. Sox on top of it, 17-5. Gassman second pitch, swing and a miss there for strike 1. Sox lead at 17-5. Express 15-6, right behind them. The Turks 12-8. Cannons 12-9. So those are your top 4 teams in the VBL right now. As Gassman fires the 1-1, swing and a miss there again from Pascal to start the inning. So we go up on a 1-2 count. Right now, the Express do lead the Cardinals 8-3. As the Tom Sox trail the Turks 5-1. So a lot going on right now in the VBL. A lot at stake as this one, Pascal fires this one over to right field. Under it is Books, makes the grab. And Gassman's got 1 in the inning.
That was a little bit of a weird play at first. Books actually threw his hands up because he couldn't see it. And we've seen quite a bit this season, Mike. Already balls get lost in the lights, and lucky enough there that Books was able to track it at the tail end and corral it in. But, I mean, that's a big win. Pascal drove in a run in his first at-bat on a ground out and then homered with that towering 2-run bomb in the 4th, and now flying out here.
Brett Weringer steps into the plate and takes the first pitch in for strike 1. So Gassman able to come into the game, allows a couple of hits, but nothing crossing home plate as he trips on that one, and the ball gets away from him. Ball 1, but looks like he just kind of lost his balance on the mound.
Happens sometimes. It's an adjustment for these pitchers as well. They go from the typical dirt bump to now here on this AstroTurf.
3rd pitch, too high for that one, and it's going to be a 2-1 count now. Currently looking at also the South Division standings. Sox ahead. Turks 4 games back behind them. They're on a 4-game winning streak. And then right behind them, Braves at 11-11. Generals 9-13. Lumberjacks 8-14. Cavs 7-13 as we are in the 23rd game of the Tom Sox season. This one too low, ball 4. So Turks grab their first runner on base of the inning. and Brett Weringer as we head to the top of the lineup. Jalen Evans, Dylan, the kryptonite, it seems, of the Tom Sox.
In the meantime here, as that walk was being worked, I noticed a little bit ago, but the Turks mascot, it's not a real person. I hate to spoil that one here. Louie's a real person, our mascot. Theirs isn't. The head of the costume is in here, and I just propped it up on the desk here. So it was like we had a 3-man booth.
Caught me off guard there for a second as Gassman
That was the intention.
delivered strike one in
I
there.
told you I was getting payback at some point.
I looked over and I saw Dylan, and then I saw that, and I was like, what in the world? Second pitch, too low outside, ball 1. 1-1 count to Jalen Evans. 2 walks today, both singles. He also walked in the first inning. Has been stranded on second all 3 times. Third pitch, dropped in, ball 2, it looks like. Just missed the plate. Cameron Harris on deck. Christopher Katz in the hole, if we get to it.
Weringer really jumping around at first base. Watch maybe some movement here.
Gassman fires that in 1 for strike 2. It's going to be a 2-2 count now. 1 out. He's already got 3 strikeouts in his outing. Looking for a 4th. Weringer takes his lead. Gassman fires this one. Dribble down the third base line and foul into the Turks' dugout. And we'll do it again.
Jalen Evans on the season mentioned that he's really kind of been the Tom Sox Achilles heel. He's coming as a pinch runner, and then also in one other game working a bunch of walks. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and now tonight a 2-hit day from him here, and he's reached base all 3 times.
Gassman the 2-2, try to get him with an off speed. Did he go? He didn't, says the first base umpire. Now Evans will have a full count here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Turks lead 5-1. Weringer on first. Takes about a 2-step lead, dancing a little bit. Gassman fires it, misses the plate, and he's going to walk Evans. A little bit frustrated with himself, and now upcoming is Cameron Harris.
And now you have to wonder, Gassman has given you a couple good frames here, and we've talked about it in the breaks as Cale Strickland's actually just going to pop out and talk. There's no movement, some stretching maybe in the Tom Sox pen right now, and we'll see if I think maybe we're going to see somebody start warming soon here. But one of the biggest Achilles heels as well is, and part of it's scheduled outings, part of it's balancing everything, but some pitchers being left in a little long has kind of bit the Tom Sox in the rear at times, and you want to make sure here that you get your quality innings out of Gassman and get him to the pitch count you need him to get to for his own numbers, but also in the same sense, this is a 4-run ball game. Keep it in striking distance. And now you'll see someone start throwing that weighted ball.
Well, Gassman's trying to do that, but he fires this one, gets away from him, almost his Harris in the face. He has to dodge out of the way. He's all right, but you have to step back in, settle in to a 1-0 count. The runner's on second and first. Gassman staring down Weringer on second, fires this one again too high, gets a little away from him. Strickland telling his pitcher to settle on in as Randy Tomlin's going to trot on out there, telling his infield to stay back as Strickland comes up with him. Seems like Gassman just needs to take a breather.
He grabbed the rosin bag too, just trying to help his grip here, and Randy really just kind of coaching him through this AB and also trying to get him out of this inning here, especially with nobody throwing yet in the pen. You can't afford Gassman to kind of lose control and see the wheels fall off, because you want to just get him out of this frame, then get somebody a full bottom of the frame or top of the frame, to warm up properly instead of trying to really rush someone in here. And Randy, a former pitcher, if there's anybody who's going to try to guide him out of this frame, it's him. And him and Brett have really built a strong relationship here. We've seen him come out and kind of coach Gassman through a few innings already in tough sledding outings.
Yeah, Randy Tomlin, the head coach of the Tom Sox, pitched with the Pittsburgh Pirates there for a while. Had a tremendous career now, trying to get Gassman through this inning. 1 out, the 2-0 in there for strike 1. So he bounces back after 2 balls kind of get away from him up high. Gibson kind of shadowing second over there with Weringer taking a sizable lead. Evans isn't going anywhere on first. This one dribbled down the first base line. It's going to be fair. It's going to get past Ferrero. Here comes one runner. He's going to score. Books is going into right field, trying to grab it. Got to the wall, and Evans is also going to cross home plate. It's going to be a 2 RBI double for Cameron Harris. And the Turks take a 7-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
And mention that we saw the last time we took the trip to Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park, a ball kind of get trapped in that nook over there in right field, and that's exactly what happened again. And it was a bad hop. It almost looked like it was going to tail off, fouled on the first base side, but a bad hop over the head of Ferrero. He did everything in his power to try to corral it, but there was nothing he really could do towards the end there. And Harris, 2 RBI, as you mentioned, and the worst part here is now you're in that heart of the order with a runner in scoring position with Katz and Hatcher due up, and Hatcher already has a 2-hit day, and he's driven in 2 runs in his own right.
That's going to be the 8th hit of the day for the Turks as Gassman lets up his first 2 runners across home plate. First pitch to Katz is fouled down the first base line. 0-1.
And we've seen this Turks offense kind of break through like this before, even here at Eagle Field, and it's kind of been the calling card of the offense. When they do score, they score in bunches, and they come at you in a relentless manner. They see the opportunity, and they kind of just put foot on the gas and don't let up. We saw it in the 10-1 victory last time out here as well.
That victory was the largest losing margin of the season for the Tom Sox. Looking to avoid that here again. Third pitch, fouled back. It was going to be a 1-2 count now for Gassman, who tripped up again on the mound. Trying to find his footing there. As Katz settles back in. Tom Sox and Harrisonburg will play tonight, and then we'll play tomorrow night again right here at Veterans Memorial Park at 7:30. As fourth pitch drops down, too low, 2-2. So back-to-back games for both these squads, and it's going to be huge as so far this season the Tom Sox lead every series except for the one against the Turks. Turks lead it 2-1 with one of those wins again coming here. Gassman fires this one. Katz backs up into the pitch, it seemed like, as it was thrown behind him a little bit. It's going to hit him, and he's going to move over to first base to put a runner on first and second. Katz, weird sequence there, Dylan.
Really weird sequence. He kind of bounced into the pitch almost, and Katz was angry, really angry about it when he walked over. He flipped his bat almost all the way into the dugout. Now Tomlin's out here. Whoever's warming haven't been able to get a number yet. Didn't have a ton of time to warm, but with Gassman kind of struggling here, it's time to pull the plug, and we'll see a new pitcher come in for the Sox.
With 2 runs already on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning and 2 runners on base still. Randy Tomlin, we did not see a signal yet, but here comes a pitcher, so we will get a pitching change here for the Tom Sox. Their second one of the evening. We'll get you guys the name and number of our next pitcher right here on Tom Sox TV. Brett Gassman's day is done after 2 1/3 innings pitched. Dean Campshire is going to come out for the Tom Sox to put out what's been a huge fire here for the Turks, adding 2 to the scoreboard. They've got 2 runners on with only 1 out. Dylan, what we got on our new pitcher?
Campshire comes by way of Falls Church, Virginia.
First pitch in there for strike 1.
The lefty junior pitched in 18 games for the Cavaliers this season, a 3.48 ERA, 2-0 record, and 10 1/3 innings pitched. Our own SID, David Argo, ties to the team as well, told us that he was kind of a mop-up reliever, those guys who are kind of on cleanup duty, help get you out of tough situations, buying out here and there, and Campshire going to get an opportunity to refine his craft as he just joined the Sox a few days ago.
Well, Charlottesville's going to need it down 7-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Campshire with the 1-1 count. Fires this one foul down the third base line into the Turks dugout. Look out. You guys have to duck out of the way as Luke Hatcher comes up for his 4th plate appearance. He has a single, a double, scored 2 RBIs on that one, and then flew out in the first inning. Runners take their leads. 1-2 is your count, 1 out. Campshire fires this one again, foul down the third base line, and we'll do it again.
How about this for Campshire, too? It's your first pitching appearance in VBL play. How about, maybe an easy test, the off-ramp to kind of settle into things? Nope, you get the hardest task really in the VBL right now. Luke Hatcher, who is the best hitter in the VBL right now.
21 hits, 3.75 coming to the game. He's already got 2 hits to tack onto that total. Campshire fires this one. This one absolutely crushed in the left field, carrying to the foul line. It's going to go foul. Oh, my goodness. That thing was obliterated. And it carried far enough that we'll do another 1-2 count at the plate.
He got every piece of that baseball. The only problem was that it was about a quarter of a mile foul. It just tailed off and kept going.
It's like in golf. It's like a nice hit and then it slices left. You're like, oh, man, it's right down the fairway. Come on. The 1-2, 1 out. Campshire fires this one, just misses the plate high and outside. 2-2.
I'm very familiar with those shots. It's not
so familiar.
I have a natural draw, natural slice. Got to play some golf today. Putt-putt version, obviously. See it on Tom Sox Weekly in a couple weeks.
Heard it's quite the show.
It was a new segment, a new edition.
Swing and a miss there. First strikeout for Dean Campshire, who comes into the game, gets it by Luke Hatcher, and then Tom Sox have now 2 outs in the inning. So we were told he comes in, extinguishes fires, and so far he just got 1 down.
And that is a really nice way to start your VBL slate. How about that? You do it by striking out the best hitter in the VBL. Mentioned it was a hard task for him. Campshire unfazed, though, and a really nice job there to retire Hatcher and take some pressure off here with 2 on and 2 outs.
Canizero now steps into the plate with 2 outs, 2 runners on. He slices this one into the outfield and into right field where Books is going to ground it. Fires over to first base as a runner scores the tag at third, not in time. And Canizero is going to trot over to second base, and the Turks add a run onto the board and have 2 runners in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th.
Really nice piece of hitting there from Canizero. Just over the head of Wynn, but dropped down enough that it wasn't going to be any kind of out territory for Books. It kind of just dropped into the ocean out there in right field, and now tees up Cam Nelson, who hasn't had a hit tonight but has reached base twice, and what a time this would be for his first hit of the evening with 2 runners in scoring position, and the Turks already putting a crooked number on here in the bottom of the frame.
Cats on third, Canizero over on second. As Campshire fires this one, just missing the plate, 1-0. Nelson, via Wake Forest, has 6 hits on the season. Does not have 1 today. Looking to extend a 7-run Turk lead. Campshire fires this one, misses the plate down low. It would be 2-0 count. And for the Tom Sox, they have not been mercy ruled this season. They have won 4 games via the mercy rule, And now in danger here as we get to the 6th and 7th inning. Past the 7th inning, the mercy rule does come into effect. This one dribbled right to Farrow at first. He's going to get the solo put out to end the inning. But damage has been done. 3 runs scored on 2 hits, 3 walks. We're headed to the top of the 7th. Can the Tom Sox respond here? Down by 7 on Tom Sox TV. Turks lead it 8-1 through 6 innings. Welcome back, everybody, to Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price back with you guys as Sam Mumma takes the plate against Benjamin Craig, who comes out for his 2nd inning. Craig already has a strikeout to his name as first pitch misses the plate, 1-0. Sam Mumma today 0 of 2, struck out once and grounded out once. Craig with the 1-0. Fires this one again, misses the plate, 2-0. Sidewinder. Looked like that one kind of just got away from him there. So he'll reset, take a breath as the sky officially turns to night and the lights are out on full force here from Veterans Memorial Park. What a park it is here.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely amazing. 320 in both corners, 400 dead center. Turf across the entire field as the 4th pitch misses again. All 4 pitches coming in the lefty's batter's box as Mumma heads over to first base, and Johnny Lopez comes up to the plate.
I like it. I think Revival got the boys going. They were playing Zach Bryan's Colt Classic during the break, and I think the offense kind of, let's get the revival going of the Tom Sox offense that exploded against the Turks a few weeks ago.
Have not had a hit in 3 innings. Have not scored since that 3rd inning when Robbie Levy popped one up to right field, an error on the right fielder, and then Kobe Wallace sent him home via a RBI double. So Johnny Lopez with the 1-0 count, runner on first, shows bunt, pulls back, but the ball comes across home plate, and it'll go down with a 1-1 count. Mumma on first, takes the lead. Ethan Gibson on deck. Lopez takes the 1-0, swing and a miss at that one. Quite the hack it was, but he'll go down 1-2. No outs here in the top of the 7th.
Movement in both pens right now. Jackson Hole for the Turks. Seen him against the Sox twice already this season. And some movement in the Sox pen as well.
Lopez fires this one towards the Sox bullpen. Under it is Pascal. He's going to make the running grab. Fires it to first base. Lopez has to get out of the way. Pulls out his inner Captain Jack Sparrow throwing out the arms while running, and Sam Muma is going to be safe on first. What a play there by Pascal, trying to get the double play. As Muma got too much of a lead there. Now Ethan Gibson will come up to the plate. 262 on the season. He leads the team in runs scored with 27. He's walked once today, stranded on third. He's gotten out twice via a ground out and a fly out. So in his fourth plate appearance here in the seventh, takes the first pitch, down low, ball one.
Let's play my new favorite game again. Would it be a home run at Willie T. Barnett Field? That one? Once
Yes.
again, it would. It's my new favorite game show.
Oh, boy. Especially coming from a Yankees fan. Stadium's all shallow. You're used to that type of stuff. Second pitch in there. First strike, one. Gibson doesn't like it, but settles back in.
I love a good short porch.
Cincinnati Bank Park does not have a short porch, which is why they are top of the MLB. 1-on-1,
Goodness.
one out here. Craig fires this one and fouled off by Ethan Gibson, so he'll go down 1-2 now in the count. Gibson, one of the best hitters in this Sox lineup, has struggled a little bit as of late. Has gotten on base a lot, but as we said, leads the team in runs. Hasn't scored one in the past two games. Looking to erase that here. Craig fires the 1-2, swing and a miss there from Ethan Gibson. Craig's got 2 strikeouts now on the day. And he's got 2 outs here in the seventh.
Mentioned in the bottom of the previous frame that there was a mini golf competition today between myself, 2 Tom Sox, and a media intern of ours. Ethan Gibson was in that competition. I'm not going to spoil who won, but it was a really tightly contested mini golf contest. Somebody vaulted out to an early lead, held it really the whole time. They did secure it to win too, but a couple people giving chase at the end. One particular Tom Sock player got a couple strokes shaved from his score, but he gave a nice run as well.
My money's going to be on the media intern that you have not named.
George Armengol joined us as well.
Sorry, George, I don't think you won it, but I'll bet on you, buddy. 1-1 to Robbie Levy. So far today, Levy is 0 of 2. He got on base and scored via that error. Fouls this one off down the third base line and out of the park. 1-2 now, 2 outs. Benjamin Craig trying to get out of the inning. Has already struck out 1. Forced to fly out to right field. Walks Sam Muma to start it. Muma has stayed on first base ever since. Up 8-1. Turks looking to end the 7th inning, put 4 straight zeros on the board. Craig fires this one and misses up high for ball 2.
Let's play my favorite game again. Would it have been a home run at Willie T. Barnett Field? Robbie Levy's E9.
That one was to left. I don't know.
The
Left
E9?
Oh, the E9. Oh, yeah. I thought you meant that foul ball. Craig fires this one and gets Robbie Levy rung up there for his second strikeout of the inning. So the Tom Sox go down 1-2-3 after Sam Muma walked to start the inning. They trail the Turks by 7 here as we head to the 7th inning. Wherever you're at, get up, stretch out. We'll see you guys in the bottom of the frame right here on Tom Sox TV. Welcome back to Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price here with you guys as the Tom Sox trail the Turks through 6.5, 8-1. It's been a one-sided affair as the Tom Sox scored their only run off of an error by the Turks infield as Matthew Delgado now steps in to face Kempshire for the first time today. Delgado, 1 of 3 today as he fires this one into center field, and it's going to drop down. Delgado rounds first base as Lopez gets it into the infield. And the Turks start off the inning right with a runner on first.
Single from Delgado there, his second of the day. He's 2 for 4 tonight. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Valley League, and I think we're going to see a pitching change here. And honestly, exactly what David Argo said, kind of mop-up duty for Kempshire, and now going to pull him here, and we'll have a new face come in. But I think Delgado, one of the best defensive catchers, one of the best framers we've seen in the VBL, and also one of the most consistent hitters sneakily. Him and Cale Strickland, really impressive.
Well, as a new pitcher comes out onto the mound looking to keep the score what it is and give the Tom Sox a chance back at this one, we'll take a step aside right here on Tom Sox TV. Back here at Veteran Memorial Park as the Tom Sox trail the Harrisonburg Turks 8-1 through 6.5 innings as Will Banks makes his way out onto the mound for the Tom Sox in relief of Dean Capture. Banks, so far this season, he's pitched in 3 games, had 4 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits. He is not allowed an earned run yet this season, but he has 5 runs to his name. 3 of those came in his last appearance against the Turks. First pitch too high. It would be a 1-0 count now to what was Anthony Pascal. Looks like we do now have a pinch hitter here for the Turks. It's going to be Ethan Murdoch. 6'2", 215 out of Marshall University, the rising senior now. will come in for Pascal. So Pascal, 1 of 3 today. His day will be done. As Delgado sits on first base. Second pitch, swing and a miss there for Murdoch. Will Banks comes into the game throwing some heat for the Tom Sox, and a much-needed inning. Tom Sox have gone 4 straight innings with zeros on the board while allowing 5 runs in that stretch. Banks fires this one in for strike 2 with Murdoch looking down. It's the 1-2 count. Runner takes his lead on first. Banks takes a breath. The righty will face righty Ethan Murdoch for the 1-2. The delivery. The swing and a miss. Will Banks enters the game, gets his first strikeout, throwing some heat, and puts 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
That's a big K for Banks. He's trying to settle in and find a rhythm after it's been almost 11 days since he pitched last, tossing 2 scoreless against the Generals. Things got a little dicey, though. A couple hit by pitches, walks in that outing, and trying to just kind of settle in and find a little bit more of a rhythm here with more control as well. And that's a good, really strong start.
That one says he did go. So it'll be an 0-1 count to Jack Torbett, who comes into the game now. So we have back-to-back pinch hitters here for the Turks. Ethan Murdoch comes in for Anthony Pascal. And now Jack Torbett comes in for Brett Weringer. Brett Weringer, 0-2 today. Struck out once, grounded out once, walked in the 6th, but he was brought around the bases for 1 of 8 of the Turks' runs, as this one's fouled back for Torbett. So far this season, he's 6 foot, 180. Torbett has 2 hits on 20 at-bats, 4 runs, 2 RBIs, 1 triple. Torbett will face Banks. Banks fires this one, swing and a miss in the dirt there. And Banks retires 2 here as Torbett limps back to the dugout, being helped out by his teammate down there, so we hope he's okay. But Will Banks retires 2 to start off his day, and now will face the dangerous Jalen Evans, who has reached base all 4 times. He scored 1, stranded on second 3 times. He's got 2 singles and 2 walks.
Good start for Banks.
Banks fires this one way too low, 1-0. As you said, Dylan, he is throwing some gas out there right now on the mound.
Didn't take long to settle in with the runner on, too. He's found a rhythm fast.
The 1-0. 2 outs. Runner on first. Fires this one just inside. Almost gets a piece of Evans. He's able to turn away from it. Seems like Bank is solely focused at the plate. Has no concern for Delgado over there on first base with 2 away. Takes a breath. Wind up. Fires this one a little too high. 3 straight balls now for Banks, with Cameron Harris on deck. Harris had that 2 RBI double. They got caught in that right field fencing in the 6th. Just put the Turks out to an 8-1 lead. Banks, the 3-0, fires this one too low, so 4 pitches, 4 balls, and 1 walk for Jalen Evans. Brings up Cameron Harris and sends Delgado over to second base, as Christopher Katz walks on deck. And every time he does his warm-up swings, it's just like the strongest swing I think you will ever see at this level.
One of the best swings, I agree with you, I think, in the entire league, and really one of the most impressive players all around. A sneaky, agile left fielder, and one of my favorite players we've gotten to watch this season.
This one, foul back behind us. My goodness, Dylan. Almost took the little hair that I have left on my head after my haircut.
After the buzz cut?
After the buzz cut.
It was tracking right towards our press box. Not often do we actually seriously say that. That was when I was a little spooked.
A little bit. I've seen one hit a window before, but not shattered, luckily, as Banks fires this one right down Main Street. First strike 2. So 0-2, 2 straight strikes. Well, Banks with 2 outs can get out of this one Cameron Harris looking to keep the inning alive with 2 runners on, with his team leading by 7 here in the 7th. Banks fires this one, just misses the plate outside. 1-2.
How about this for Jalen Evans? A late addition to the lineup after Jose Perez was scratched. He's reached base safely in all 5 plate appearances. 3 walks, 2 singles, and he scored 2 runs tonight and stolen a base.
Also just realized Jack McMullen into the game for Cale Strickland behind home plate. So McMullen gives him the sign. Banks, the 1-2, just misses him. Now the ball gets away from McMullen. Both runners will advance cleanly to second and third accordingly. Now the Turks have 2 runners in scoring position, but Will Banks with a 2-2 count is 1 strike away from his 3rd strikeout of the inning. And retiring the side without any damage being done. You'll have to get it by Harris, though. As you said, Dylan has had an incredible day so far for the home team. The 2-2. Banks fires this one. Just misses the corner. Now we'll have a full count. 2 outs. Runners take their leads. Oregon player calms down. Banks, the full count. Fires this one. Got him looking. Will Banks comes into the game, delivers 3 straight strikeouts to retire this side with no damage being done. We'll head to the top of the 8th inning right here on Tom Sox TV with the Tom Sox looking to rally down by 7. Back here at Veterans Memorial Field, where one of James Madison's very own Jackson Hall will take the mound for the Turks. The rising senior, 5'11", 200 pounds. Dylan, what do we got on our new guy?
Hull's pitched against the Sox twice already on the season.
He'll face Kobe Wallace, and he fouls that one back, first one.
3 1/3 toss. He's allowed 5 runs in those outings, but he's combined for 3 strikeouts as well with 2 walks. On the season, it's an 8.18 ERA, 7 games pitched, 2 starts, 11 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts.
All right, well, second pitch is in there for strike 2. Wallace arguing the call with the home plate umpire. He says continue play. So also have to step back in with an 0-2 count. No outs here. Hall waves off 2 straight pitches, now gets the one he wants. The righty fires. That one too far outside. Delgado couldn't get it in front of the plate, so be 1-2 for Benjamin Craig. He went 2 in the third. Had 3 strikeouts, walked 3 batters, allowed no runs, no hits. And a stellar performance there for the Turks.
It was a really strong outing from Craig. I mean, a great outing from Sheffitz as well. He'd be in line for the win still, and now we're at a point here where you could honestly go to Hull and with, I mean, some soft tossing, but nothing more, could be Hull the rest of the way.
Hull fires the 1-2, swing and a miss there from Colby Wallace. So Jackson Hull comes into the game, and just like Will Banks gets a strikeout to his name, there's one down here in the top of the 8th as the Tom Sox down to their final 5 outs, down 8-1 to the Turks.
Every time I hear Jackson Hull's name, this happened last time that the Turks and Sox faced off, I think of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's just the natural progression every single time, and it's always confusing because then I want to say Jackson Hole, but it's Jackson Hole, and he's from Fancy Gap, Virginia. Also one of the coolest city names. He's got everything.
Well, he delivers a fancy pitch there for the 0-1 count to Caden Ferrero, who has struck out once, has reached base twice via walks. He was stranded on first and second. The second pitch fouls this one down third base line and is going to curve all the way into the parking lot. 0-2, so Hall goes up in the count 0-2 in back-to-back batters. He struck out Colby Wallace. With one already down here, what does he do with the second at bat? The 0-2, Hall fires. Just missing the plate. Delgado almost got a good frame on it. So yet again, we'll get another 1-2.
That's another example of, we're talking about it before, about Delgado, another one of those players you and I are both high on within the VBL, and that's part of the reason why he's just such a stout framer.
This one fouled right in the same spot down the third base line into out of the park. So 1-2. Hull has delivered 8 pitches so far. He's got 1 out, looking for a second with Jake Books on deck. This one misses too high, 2-2 now.
Hull really trying to work out of the frame here, and I mean, probably as we were talking about, probably get the distance to go the rest of the way.
This one gets through the gap between the second and first baseman into right field. Congratulations, Caden Ferrero, on his first hit as a Tom Sox this season. The away team has got a runner on base here in the 8th. Jake Books now will come up to the plate. So far today, he is 0 of 3, struck out once, flew out twice, 1 to left, 1 to right. Hall trying to get the possible trifecta out there in the outfield. Gets a nod, fires this one. Swing and miss there from Books. Hall able to deliver some heat there. Books a little behind the throw. Ferrero playing conservative over there on first base. Not a huge lead with Canizero guarding the plate. Second pitch down and away, 1-1.
That was one Hull really wanted. Kind of tell it just lost it off the fingertips, trying to break it over the heart of the plate and see a tail at the end.
The third pitch. Hall fires. Swing and a miss there from Books. He liked it, but got a little too much underneath of it. And now he'll go down 1-2. So 3 straight batters have a 1-2 count. 1 struck out, 1 got a single. What does Jake Books do here? Hull, righty v lefty. Fires this one. A swing and a miss. Excuse me, no, it fouls out of Delgado's glove. And that will be a 1-2.
Talking during the break about the Turks and everything that they've been able to do against the Sox this season. The Sox will have a chance at their get-back tomorrow if the score holds, but it's another example of the team just really struggling to hit against the Turks this year. Just 3 tonight.
This one fouled back into the netting right in the direction of us. And, yeah, as you were saying, Dylan, I mean, it's definitely been a struggle, not only against the Turks, but as of late. We've talked about the runners left on base, but over the past couple of games, it's been 6 games, they've had a 10-run margin, which is good, right? That's really good for the Tom Sox. But today, that's been almost erased as they trail by 7. So over the past 7 games, 3-run margin, that's just not something we're used to seeing with this team.
And it's important because you see multifaceted wins. You don't just see the crazy big blowouts like that run where there was a 48-4 margin of victory, or 52-4 by a margin of 48 runs. And you like the tightly contested wins, but you also want to see them pull those games, like tonight out where you fall behind 8-1 and be able to reel them back in. And obviously there's still some time left that the Sox could do that, but it was really a testament to some of the grit that is starting to really develop from this team in the walk-off win the other night. But this is one that's just out of reach, and trying to figure out how to reel these games back in against the Turks and not let them kind of blow them out towards the tail end like they have is going to be a big key towards the end of the season.
The 1-2 blooped over to the third base line and caught there by Weringer. Oh, excuse me, that's Torbett coming in for Weringer. And now that'll get the second out of the inning. So Ryan Wynn will come out as the Turks look to retire this side with another 0 onto the board. It'll be the 5th straight here for the Tom Sox. Excuse me, that's Jalen Evans over there on third base. So a bunch of defensive changes there for the Turks. Everybody's moving around. Here's their head coach Bob Weiss is trying to get their players as much playing time as possible. First pitch, too low, 1-0. Second pitch, Hall delivers, just misses the plate outside. So Ryan Wynn able to get up in the count, 2-0, 2 outs. Runner on first. Wynn looking for his first hit today. Third pitch, almost the same location. Hall trying to just grab that outside corner. He can't. So 3-0 count. Jack McMullen on deck in replacement for Cale Strickland. Hall fires this one. Wynn dribbles it down the third base line. It's going to stay fair. The grab by Evans is not in time. And Ryan Wynn gets an infield single and advances the runner to second, bringing up McMullen to the plate.
And that's a good break for the Sox. Wynn, his speed, if it's within play, it's going to be a chance to run it out. And now first and second, McMullen is getting an at-bat here after we've kind of seen him come in late the past 2 times. He got a start a few games ago, but his at-bats have kind of been sparse in this tail end of the month of June and now kicking off July. So going to get a good opportunity here to come in and get a nice AB and with runners in scoring position, but both runners on.
McMullen drives this one into deep left center field. It's going to get down between both of the fielders and all the way to the wall. Run one will score. Ryan Wynn's rounding third, coming home. The play at the plate is not in time. Ryan Wynn scores on an RBI double. Now he's down behind home plate. He got tripped up after Delgado tried to make the tag. Ferrero was going to boost him on up. Looks like Ryan Wynn's okay. So Jack McMullen comes into the game and all of a sudden hits a 2 RBI double to left center field. And the Tom Sox have life here in the 8th.
Well, when you have those spare at-bats, you never know for sure when your next AB is going to be. That's, 1, a good way to see more of them, and 2, a good way to capitalize and do so in a big way. There was a chance that ball was heading out towards the end there, and let's play our game again. Would it be a home run at Willie T. Barnett Field?
I don't know. I think that's at the wall.
That one's a close call, but it was a really nice hit there from Jack McMullen, and now, as you mentioned, Sox deficit down to just 5.
3 hits in the inning. It's going to be the most that they've had in an inning today, as they have now 5 on the day. Sam Muma up to the plate. 0-1 count now to start it. McMullen, not a big lead on second. Second pitch in there for strike 2. So Sam Muma comes in and already down 0-2. 2 outs here in the 8th. Jackson Hall looking to end the inning and prevent any more tallies from being given to the Tom Sox. The 0-2. Hall delivers. Down low in the dirt. 1-2. Or I guess turf in this case. Uma 0-2 today. Walked once. The 1-2 count. 2 outs in the 8th. Runner on second. What can he do here? Righty v righty. Hits this one. Passes shortstop. He can't find it. It got out of his glove. Muma's going to go to first. McMullen the third. Everybody's safe. And now we head to the top of the lineup with Johnny Lopez. And the Sox find a way to stay alive.
And we were just talking about kind of a scenario in which, and this could be a pitching change here, is there is action and has been action in the Turks pen. We were talking about the Turks being the kryptonite, talking almost about how you need to see the Sox show that grit and reel them in, and now kind of here we go. There's an opportunity here after the McMullen double with runners on the corners, and ducks are on the pond for Johnny Lopez. And as you were talking about at the top of the broadcast tonight, it features tonight's lineup 1, 2, 3 All-Stars and 3 of the best hitters in the Sox lineup. And now at least Jackson Hole will face Johnny Lopez, if not a little bit more here, as this is the best opportunity far and away the Sox have seen in this game tonight.
The second largest losing margin of the season for the Tom Sox when they're down 8-1. They've scored 2 now in the inning to cut it to 5. As you said, Johnny Lopez, we awarded Ethan Gibson the midseason MVP, but we did talk about him and Tommy Roldan for runners-ups. So let's see what the lefty can't do. Jackson Hole with 2 outs. He's got a strikeout and a flyout in this inning so far. What can he do to get the 3rd out? First pitch, too low, just misses the strike zone. 1-0. McMullen on 3rd. Muma on 1st. Muma playing a little aggressive over there. Doesn't steal. Lopez fouls this one back. Now he's in a 1-1 count. Muma almost taken off immediately. He's shown the wheels before. This Tom Sox looking to cut this lead even further. This looks like we're going to get a batter's timeout real quick. Umpire records it. Now Lopez steps back into the batter's box for the 1-1. Hall gets the sign. Doesn't even look at any of the runners. Focuses on Hall. Muma takes off. Delgado fires over to second, and it is not in time. McMullen now it gets away. McMullen's coming home. Second baseman can't corral it. And the Tom Sox have scored 3 here in the 8th to cut this lead down to 4. And all of a sudden, with 2 outs, Dylan, they just find a way to stay alive.
Here come the Sox. I mean, Muma toying with another pitcher. We saw him do it with Gio Urzuaga the other night, mentioned that earlier, and now doing it here. And honestly, didn't know if Jack McMullen was going to have a chance to score if that play was fielded correctly, but just an error, and now it allows McMullen to come around. There was no, I mean, you couldn't put the brakes on. He was already halfway home, and I think McMullen knew it, but he got a lucky break, and the Sox get a big break. And now they've cut the score deficit in half.
Evans and Harris recovering. Harris got away from him a little bit. Hall now, though, 2-2, misses high and outside. Johnny Lopez kind of turned around, thought it might have been strike 3. But now we'll get a full count. 2 outs here in the 8th. Jackson Hall trying to get out of the jam and keep his team up by 4. Muma on second, taking a pretty big lead. Lopez, the full count. Swing and a miss. Jackson Hall ends the inning, but the Tom Sox able to grab 4 hits on and 3 runs. No errors, 1 man left on base. Dylan, we got ourselves a ball game. Headed here to the bottom of the 8th right here on Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox add 3 runs to the board on the top of the 8th inning, and all of a sudden, as they trail by 4, Will Banks will make his way out and try to give his team a chance at this. Welcome back, everybody, to Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price with you guys as the Sox trailed by 7 for the majority of this, and now the home plate umpire looks like calls the batter for a violation, so he'll go down 0-1 in the count already. Sox trailing by 7 for most, and all of a sudden have stormed back in the 8th. Banks fires his first pitch outside, ball 1. And it doesn't look like it actually counted as a strike. They might have called timeout on the batter, so he'll stay at a 1-0 count. Banks fires this one a little too high, 2-0. The inning will go Christopher Katz, Luke Catcher, and then Jack Canizero, the heart of what's been a relentless Turks lineup. They only have 3 zeros on the board as Banks fires this one at the feet of Katz for the 3rd straight ball. They put 5 runs in the first 4 innings, and then they added 3 in the 6th. As Banks fires this one outside. So 4 pitches, 4 balls, 1 walk for Katz. As Luke Hatcher comes up to the plate. 2 of 4 today, single, double, 2 RBIs. He struck out once and he flew out once. So we're going to get a time here from Randy Tomlin making his way out to the mound, talking to his pitcher. We don't really see too much going on in the Tom Sox bullpen, so talk it over. Home plate umpire also coming out with Randy Tomlin. Looking at Banks's foot, it looks like he might have slipped up a little bit.
Not the first time tonight we've seen a pitcher slip either. We saw Brett Gassman, who was in earlier, kind of slide on that AstroTurfing. It's the extra almost turf there that kind of separates the regular turf bump and has the rubber matting there. I'm trying to see if I mean, it's not any real differential in the turf. It's just a little bit more traction on it, but it's the second time tonight. And it's, I mean, we've talked about it. It's got to be a little bit different for some of these pitchers going from these dirt mounds to then out here tonight on these AstroTurf mounds.
Especially after this area got a little bit of rain over the weekend, so it's definitely cool things off too. Different feeling for these players after a heat wave for the past what seemed month.
It was never ending.
But it was just a week. Oh my goodness, it was also relentless. So Luke Hatcher will come up, the DH, after the mound visit from Randy Tomlin, talking with the home plate umpire and Will Banks. Banks fires this one, dribbled down third base line and foul. 1-1 is the count, no outs here in the inning as Katz got an early walk, his 2nd of the day. Technically speaking, first after he got hit in the 6th. Jack Canizero on deck. Banks fires this one. This one is beamed down the third base line. It is going to go fair. And now he's going to round third base. Holding there. Going to 2nd is Hatcher. Katz is on 3rd. As Muma went to the corner. Kind of lost track of the ball there as the bullpen for the Turks kind of goes out to the field, so I couldn't really see what was going on in the corner there for a second. Now, Randy Tomlin talking with the home plate umpire, not really sure about something.
I was wondering if he wanted to call the ground rule. I mean, there's no advantage.
Ground rule double, yeah.
There's no advantage in him even going out about that because the runner would go to third either way. I mean, I'm really not sure why he was out there. Now I think it's to make a pitching change, and we'll see that happen here.
Now he's calling time after a trip with the home plate umpire. So I'm not really sure what's going on here.
To be a fly on the wall, or in this case, I guess the cap, the
on the cap,
bump.
yeah.
I don't really know
on
where.
something out there.
I actually don't know.
A crowd
There's
mic,
even a wall.
maybe?
Yeah.
Well, Will Banks hands the ball off to Randy Tomlin. Now, Coy Tomlin signals to the dugout one of the assistant coaches on the Tom Sox, and still not seeing movement in there. Will Banks is still on the mound. As now Randy Tomlin accidentally drops the ball, and there we go. Now we got a pitcher jogging out to the mound as the Tom Sox trail by 4 with 2 runners in scoring position. We'll get you guys the name, number, and profile on our new guy onto the mound right after this. Will Pearson on the mound for the Tom Sox as they trail by 4. He comes in relief of Will Banks as 2 runners are on second and third for the Turks. Welcome back, everybody, to Tom Sox TV. Mike Bolger, Dylan Price, along with you guys. It's been a heck of a day so far. We started at 7:30. The Turks kicked the game off with a run. The Tom Sox matched that run with an error, and Robbie Levy scored. Then they scored 2, another 2, and then a 3 to make it 8-1. Then the Tom Sox all of a sudden scored a 3 out of nowhere to make it an 8-4 ball game. Now the Turks looking to grab a couple insurance runs here in the bottom of the frame as Will Pearson comes out and delivers first pitch in for strike 1.
Will the throw Pearson, 4.26 ERA, 5 games pitched on the season, coming into tonight with 6 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts.
Pearson has not faced the Turks yet this season. His last outing on June 26th. As his second pitch down low, 1-1. So, Katz on third, Hatcher on second, Canizero at the plate. So far today, he is 1 of 4. Had that RBI single in the 6th. 1 of 8 runs that the Turks have had. Is that one too low? It would be a 2-1 count now, so Will Pearson falling behind a little bit here. Infield playing in. Right at that grass line, right where it meets the dirt. As McMullen signals to Pearson. Gets the pitch he wants. Canizaro waits. Pearson fires this one. And no signal yet. Must have just missed the plate. 3-1. Looked like it got the location horizontally, just not vertically. So it'll be a 3-1 count after starting the count 0-1. Canizaro has seen 3 balls straight. Pearson gets the nod, fires. This one dribbled down the third base line. It's going to go foul. Now we're going to get our full count. That one looked like a little inside. Could have been a walk, and with no outs here in the inning, could have been dangerous for the Tom Sox loading the bases. With Cam Nelson on deck. He is 0 of 3 today. As this one drilled down the third base line and fouled down into the Turks bullpen. Watch out, guys. Looks like they got a ball boy running back out there to grab it.
Head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel. Anywhere you go around here. Even in the parking lot. Or left field.
That's
Pearson the 3-2. No outs. Runners on second and third. This one drilled into right field. It's going to fall. 1 run will score. Rounding third now, just staying there is Hatcher. So Canizaro gets an RBI single, his second of the day. And the Turks have a 9-4 lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
pretty piece of hitting there from Canizaro. Just kind of dropped it in a bucket and it allowed them to run across the plate. Cat's racing around from third. Didn't know, actually, if he was going to run straight into that netting. He had so much forward momentum. And now Hatcher 90 feet from home. You have no outs here. And if the Tom Sox didn't put 3 on the board in the top of the frame, we'd be talking about a potential 10-run mercy rule here. But the Sox able to cut that deficit in half. And now here come the Turks to kind of strike back and take those runs back.
Right when you thought the Tom Sox had some momentum, kind of gets the Turks come right back and kind of suck the energy out of the place for them and put this ball game back up to 9-4 lead. Will Pearson fires this one outside, 1-0. Runners are in the corners, still no outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Pearson fires this one right down the middle. Be 1-1 now. That run rule 5 runs away, so Turks would need a huge rally here to enforce that mercy rule. First and third covering the bags. Both runners on. This one almost hitting the batter and Cam Nelson. Pearson now will go down the count 2-1. Seemed like that one just kind of got away from him. So we were kind of talking about a little chillier of a night tonight at Veteran Memorial Field after a huge heat wave hit the area. It's now since cooled off. Pearson fires this one. Gets away from McMullen into the netting. And incoming is Hatcher to make it a 10-4 ball game. Canizaro goes over to second base, and the Turks take the 10-4 10-4 lead. There we go.
Well, that was just a kind of errant throw, and ultimately, there's not a whole lot you can do there, and Hatcher racing in safely, and now that runner in scoring position as well. Just tough spot to be in also with no outs to kind of cushion you either.
Well, the hop it took, too, in the netting just sat up there for McMullen. He couldn't even get a chance at it. This one at the feet of Nelson. It's going to be ball 4, walking him the first, and the Turks continue to turn the carousel here in the bottom of the 8th. Already 2 runs tacked on, basically erasing the 3 that the Tom Sox got in the top of the frame.
Haven't even gotten... every runner has reached base, or every batter has reached base that's stepped up to the plate thus far this frame, and, just got to get an out here.
Delgado fouls this one off the home plate and into the backstop for 0-1. Will Banks started the inning with a walk and then a double, and then Pearson came in, let up the RBI single, the walk. Now he's responsible for both of the runners on base, so Will Banks' line is officially closed. But with that, Tom Sox trail by 6 here in the bottom of the 8th. As Matthew Delgado up for his 5th plate appearance. He's 2 of 4 today, 2 singles. He scored on 1, was left on third for the other. As Pearson fires this one, swing and a miss. So 1, 2, 3 strikes. Sends Delgado back to the dugout and gives Will Pearson his first strikeout of the inning as Ethan Murdoch comes up to the plate. As I look behind me, our writer, G.G. Jones, puts on the Turks mascot's head and nearly freaks me out. This one, dribble over to Ethan Gibson. It could be 2. Fires over the wind to second. There's 1 over to first. There's 2. Double play to end the inning for the Tom Sox, but the Turks almost erased the 3 runs the Sox earned in the top of the frame with 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 on base. We're headed to the final inning here on Tom Sox TV. Tom Sox are down to their final 3 outs here in the 9th inning. It's a trail 10-4 to the Harrisonburg Turks. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Sox TV, Mike Bolger, Dylan Price, along with you guys for the final frame of this one. Ethan Gibson will step in against Caden Koch, who subs in for Jackson Hall. Koch is 6'2", 190, rising sophomore, as Ethan Gibson fouls that one back for 1-1 count. He's a right-handed pitcher. He has already made an appearance against the Tom Sox on June 9th. Dylan, that was their first call together so far this summer. He went 2 2/3. He allowed 3 runs and 2 hits against 17 batters faced, as his third pitch is too high, ball 2.
Caden transferring from Michigan State to St. John's River State this past year, putting forth a really solid run out there. 3.18 ERA.
Gibson swings and misses at that one. Swung a little too late. Now it'd be a 2-2 count. Koch comes in for Hall after an amazing outing. He did let up 3 runs and a couple of hits in that top of the 8th, but outside of that, he had a bunch of strikeouts to his name. Ethan Gibson lost this one to deep right field, going back to the warning track at the wall. Pascal makes the grab, and now he's got 1 out as Gibson rounded third. He's kind of limping off that back leg a little bit, but he seems to be okay. Jogs off to the dugout. Now coming Robbie Levy, the hero of Friday night for the Tom Sox, walked it off. And now down by 6, the Sox will need one of the more improbable comebacks we've ever seen. First pitch misses 1-0.
You know what's coming, right? One more iteration of everyone's favorite game. Would it have been a home run at Willie T. Barnett Field?
Without a doubt.
That was a no-doubter. That one is in the trees, by the train tracks, probably.
Oh, yeah. Second pitch, too high again, 2-0. Location's right, height is not. And, yeah, no, that absolutely, especially since Charlottesville High School is 290 in that right field. Whew.
That's with some distance to spare.
Absolutely. Third pitch in the same spot. So, Coke has pitched 3 straight balls. Robbie Levy. The windup, the delivery. Right down the middle. Kind of surprised Levy didn't have the green light to go there. But he takes that one in for strike 1. So it'll be 3-1 count, 1 out. No one on. Fifth pitch. Too low and outside. Ball 4. So Robbie Levy gets an early walk. Now Kobe Wallace will walk up to the plate. So far today, Wallace had a single and double to start, and then has flown out and struck out since. As that RBI, one of the 4 runs the Sox have today. Coke, the delivery. Too low, ball 1. Levy dancing over there on first base. Took a huge lead, then had to sprint on back. Listening to couple of signs from the dugout as he jumps, doesn't go, and Wallace takes that one in for strike 1.
Wallace has been quietly one of the most productive hitters on this team since his arrival. He's still over 300, 306, and he's got 11 hits in 36 plate appearances into tonight.
Adds 2 to that as he fouls this one back. So he's got 13 hits on the season.
His 7 RBI, it'll be up to 7 runs driven in on the season. He joins just a handful of Tom Sox to get over the 8 RBI mark, or get close to the 8 RBI mark.
The 1-2 to the ECU guy. This one lofted in the deep center right field, charging in on it and trying to make the grab is Nelson. It's going to fall. Robbie Levy's going to go right to second base. No one covering. Trying to make the throw over and tag him out. Miscommunication, and now Nelson getting up. Seems like he's all right. That one seemed like it was crushed in the right center field, then took a steep drop. And now the Tom Sox have 2 runners on here with 1 out. Upcoming now, Caden Ferraro, the new guy for the Tom Sox today. He has gotten a single, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He was stranded on first and second twice, but a 1-2 day to start, 3 times reaching, takes the first pitch in for strike 1.
That was like the Tower of Terror. It just kind of went really, really high and then dropped right down at the tail end. And otherwise, like you mentioned, it was going deep. It just kind of tailed off at the end. And it's not the only fly ball we've seen tonight, just dropped down.
Wind's not too much tonight as this one's hit pretty well down third base line, but it goes foul. Another fly ball there. And yeah, no, as you said, Dylan, I mean, it's just not been the only one in a deep field. It doesn't help you any better than anything else. So American flag actually in right field is just completely dead right now. It's just not moving whatsoever. So wind not playing a big factor as this one delivered a little too high. 1-2 now with 1 out.
How about 3 hits now tonight for Colby Wallace? Really nice night for him.
Quite the performance from the ECU guy. Got on base 3 times. This one outside. Tried to give him the chase. Was Coke. Doesn't go. So 2-2. 1 out. Down by 6. The Tom Sox trying to make some noise late. They scored 3 in the 8th. 1 in the top of the 3rd. What do they have here in the 9th? Coke fires this one. Again, foul down the third base line. This one a dribbler past Randy Tomlin. And we'll do it again.
Kind of jammed him up off the hands. It was one that he wasn't ever going to have a full swing opportunity at. And mentioned nice night from Caden Ferraro as well in his debut. He's reached base 3 times. He's joining the team tonight after NJCAA Division I World Series championship win for both he and Ryan Hanks, who just got here.
The 2-2, 1 out. Swing and a miss there. Caden Koch retires 2 now. He's 1 away from securing Harrisonburg's 13th win of this season and 3rd against the Tom Sox. But first, you have to go against Jake Books. He is 0-4 tonight. Flew out 3 times, struck out once. First pitch in there for strike 1.
How about this? Try to close the book on this game. I'll have to go against Jake Books to do it. It didn't get nearly the laugh I was hoping for. We're at that point in the night.
So funny as Gigi Jones also laughs at that one. Dribbled over to second base. Grounded now by first baseman Cancinero, and he's going to fire it over his pitcher and Koch. And he's going to get the out to end the game. The Harrisonburg Turks win this one by a final score of 10-4. Move to 13-8 on the season. They've won 3 of 4 against the Tom Sox and are now lead the all-time series 18-9.
Really tough one for the Sox. I mean, this is now 2 losses here at Eagle Field at Veterans Memorial Park on the campaign. 10-4 final, and it's a game of missed opportunities. 12 runners in total left on the base pass for the Sox tonight. That's a staggering margin, and it's one that kind of, as you mentioned, punctuates a bit of a rough stretch offensively for the Sox. Solid outings on the bump. Thomas Whalen did well tonight. Brett Gassman for the early part of his outing, solid as well. Will Banks, Will Pearson, Will Squared doing a good job in relief as well, but it was just a night that, I mean, Luke Hatcher, there was really no stymieing him either. He was able to put forth 2 runs driven in on a 2 pair of doubles, a single, and then the massive home run that really broke this game open from Anthony Pascal. And I think the biggest thing to take away is the grit shown at the end. You score 3 runs in that top of the 8th, and it's similar to the bottom of the 8th performance in it was actually now a Sox team that's lost 2 of their last 3. It was that loss. Bottom of the 8th, they woke up the next night, still couldn't put forth a big offensive showing early, but towards the tail end, it was the Robbie Levy home run that got them the win. So it's going to be another opportunity tomorrow to get the get back, and they'll have to do it here against the Turks in a ballpark that they've yet to get a win on the campaign in. And it's the first time that the Sox will face the same opponent on back-to-back days in the same ballpark since they faced Waynesboro in the VBL South Finals at Kate Collins Field in 2022.
Wow. Well, they faced the Stanton Braves, what was it, 2 weekends ago now?
2 weekends, but it was a home-and-home series.
Yeah, exactly. So they kind of traded off. Well, we will see you guys here tomorrow night. Me and Matt Cabram will have the call right here on Tom Sox TV. For all of our post-game and pre-game coverage, visit all of our social media pages and our website. But for our entire crew, for Dylan Price, I've been Mike Bulger. Thank you guys so much for enjoying all of our broadcasts and tuning in. Your final score, Turks 10, Tom Sox 4. Have a good night, everybody.